Great having you on board today. Thanks very much.
Nice to be here. Really enjoyed the game. Looking forward to the season coming up.
It has been an entertaining afternoon here at Optus Oval. Time now, though, to take in the second part of our doubleheader. Let's head up to Manuka Oval at Canberra. The big clash between the Kangaroos and St Kilda. And it's over to Anthony Hudson and Paul Salmon.
Yes, the Ansett Cup continues this afternoon. The Bombers might be out, but the Kangaroos and the Saints are certainly still fighting for a place in the semi-finals. Good afternoon and welcome to Manuka Oval. Here in Canberra, it's a very warm Manuka Oval, but no sign of a cyclone like they're looking like they might have up in Cairns tonight. Important match, though, for the Kangaroos and the Saints. The Kangaroos, of course, having a pretty good win in the end last week against the West Coast Eagles. St Kilda need to win under Malcolm Blight. They went down last week to Collingwood. So important for both sides, particularly at this time of the year with memberships and so much at stake. Let's see where they stand on the tables. Group 1, of course, Port Adelaide on top of that table at the moment. And just news there on Warren Tredrea. He'll miss at least 6 weeks. He's having an arthroscope on Monday after his injury last night. The Kangaroos currently sitting on top there of Group 2, the Brisbane Lions and Hawthorn. And having a closer look at this Group 2, the Kangaroos and Collingwood. As I said, the Kangaroos, a good win, and importantly for them, they've got the percentage up nice and high. Collingwood meet the West Coast in the other match, but St Kilda, they desperately need to win today, and hopefully a big win would be nice. Paul Salmon, who joins us again, welcome, Fish.
Thanks, Hutto.
We've seen plenty of, well, surprise results so far in the Ansett Cup. Kangaroos are the favourites here today, but I guess that gives the Saints some hope.
Well, it does. Look, justifiably so. The Kangaroos' form last week in the West was very impressive. Not much change to their team today. Some new faces we're looking forward to seeing more of. And the Saints, well, last week, not a glorious start with so much expectation surrounding them, of course, in their first sit-out. But we expect some improvement. And certainly if the Saints can be competitive today, I think that's a big plus in itself. Great
side here in Canberra. Facilities look terrific. They're expecting or hoping for around 13 or so thousand. The Kangaroos are a bit of a travelling team. Still no Wayne Carey. Let's have a look at their lineup. It's a pretty strong team, isn't it?
Oh, look, there's absolutely no doubt about that. And there's some wonderful recruits with, of course, Sav Rocker. We've heard and read a lot about his coming to the Kangaroos. His 4 goals last week was a wonderful start for him. Young Jess Sinclair over from Fremantle. And so these guys are going to add a lot of strength across the lines for the Kangaroos. But look, it's often their old stages, the Archers, Blakeys, Martins, and so on and so forth through outside. Let's see how Adam Lange improves through this Ansett Cup. He was a big start to their season last year. So, look, the Kangaroos, Dennis Pagan and his team are doing a wonderful job at just slowly redeveloping this side in a manner which is not too disruptive.
Well, they've always been pretty good in the Ansett Cup too, and I reckon Dennis, knowing that the Bombers are out, would well, just be a little bit of extra spring in the step, and that they can maybe win the Ansett Cup.
Well, and just again, that's justifiable. I mean, with the Bombers out, a lot of sides will be up there saying, hey, here's a chance. And, you know, the Kangaroos are one. They're a genuine contender here, and a win today will just about guarantee them their position in the semi-finals.
On the other hand, the Saints, one thing about Malcolm Blight's appointment, it certainly caused plenty of discussion and plenty of controversy. Rowan Connolly had some interesting words to write in The Age. Most people have been, well, fairly slow to have a go at Malcolm, but Rowan was right on, ready to go as soon as the Saints lost. What he was talking about there was that they didn't use balls at training before Christmas, which is against what everyone else does pretty much. And he thought that if it had been another coach, then maybe Malcolm would have got bagged. What's your view on that?
Oh, my view is it's a coach's prerogative, of course, but I mean, if I was coaching, which is not the case, but I'd probably bring them out before Christmas. I mean, we see that with the season and the demands on the players so early nowadays, it's pretty imperative they get a good look at one another. And with so many new faces in the St Kilda lineup, it might have been beneficial to have a look at what their new teammates are capable of very early with the balls, and certainly we mightn't have seen them so rusty, but that's all last week, but that's all jumped to conclusions, and we need to give them some time because Malcolm is a new coach. He deserves every chance because of his track record is so, you know, unsurpassed. And we'll just see how they go over the next couple of months.
Still no Robert Harvey, of course, for St Kilda, and they're missing quite a few of their recruits, including Lawrence and Gehrig. So we have a look at their lineup this afternoon. A few changes from last week. In fact, 4 players who played last week have been left out of the lineup today as far as reducing their squad. Begley, Blake, Ryan and Milne.
Yes, look, that's correct, and certainly guys last week who did perform well. Caden Beetham is a wonderful young man, young player for the Saints. But again, they'll miss Robert Harvey, and certainly because last week they broke down a little bit through the midfield. Peter Everett's form was down a bit last week. But what do you read into form lines at this time of year? Well, they'll be looking to those sort of guys to put their hand up today to fly the flag because they'll need them to.
Well, big match between the Kangaroos and the Saints. An important one, as we said, particularly for the Kangaroos, as they have their financial struggle. We'll talk more about that after the break when their Chief Executive, Greg Miller, joins us.
Nobody keeps Adelaide more informed about the world around us, because nobody knows Adelaide like 7.
Volkswagen owners really love their cars. Get to know a Volkswagen Bora and you'll see why.
I'm okay.
Broke my windscreen.
Broke my windscreen. Woe is me, what shall I do?
Simply phone us. Instant Windscreens.
Instant Windscreens fit windscreens, side and rear glass to all types of vehicles. Install van windows and even apply window tinting for cooler driving. All work is fully guaranteed, and with Instant's innovative repair it, you may not even need a new windscreen.
Instant Windscreens is our number. 132-444.
At Phone Shack, you can forget the frills, forget the hype, and get the one thing everybody's looking for: quality Telstra coverage at ridiculous prices. Like this Hyundai 300e for free. Free connection to Telstra MobileNet, $10 worth of free calls a month, half-price call rates plus 1,000 free SMS a month till the end of this year. All for just $20 a month. There's a shack near you. Call this number now and save on a fantastic new mobile phone from Phone Shack.
When it comes to choosing a health insurance fund, what's really important to me is security. Oh, and a wide network. Who knows? I may want to move interstate one day. Yeah, and someone who really cares. You know, looks after people. That's important. They're just a few of the reasons why I feel a whole lot better with Medibank Private.
I feel better now.
The Lion. The Burger. The Beer. The Deal. $8.90. The Lion, Melbourne Street, North Adelaide.
For nearly 20 years, Mercantile Mutual's parent company has been Europe-based ING. ING is one of the world's largest financial groups, operating in over 65 countries, providing investment, insurance and banking. So when you're with Merc, you're actually with ING. And they really do bring a world of expertise to the table. Mercantile Mutual, an ING company.
When I decided to be a mechanic in the Army, I mean, one of the big things for me was that I got my qualification. So even if I leave the Army later on, I'm still a recognised mechanic in Civvy Street.
Well, that's the scene here at Manuka Oval in Canberra. The Kangaroos and St Kilda in this Ansett Cup match. The Jack Fingleton scoreboard, I think that's the old MCG scoreboard, which they moved up here to Manuka. As I said, a very warm day here for the match between the Kangaroos and the Saints. And the man alongside me, Greg Miller, the Chief Executive of the Kangaroos. Greg, lots of things to talk about with the Kangaroos and their future and so forth, but I guess the fans more immediately, we worried about today's match. How's the team? How did they travel up here? And what's
we actually
outlook?
went to Perth last weekend, as you know, and then we're up here during the week all day Tuesday. So the coach decided to bring the team up the morning of the game, which is unusual these days. You normally travel before, but we're here and we're ready to go, and we've got a pretty strong side.
Seeing the Bombers lose last night would have broken the heart of Dennis, I'm sure. What's Dennis's general attitude this year to the Ansett Cup? Because we know that in the past that it's always been pretty important, but this year I know there's a lot of younger players, and that's also going to be in his mind.
Yeah, look, he loves to win, as you know. We all know that, and I'm sure he'll be out. You know, once he's here now, be full steam ahead. Interestingly, last week he left David King, John Blakey, and Anthony Stevens on the bench virtually till half time. So he is taking it slightly differently, and of course Wayne's been rested basically the first 2 weeks. weeks. So he is treating a little bit differently, but I'm sure he'll build up now.
Well, getting down to business, the finances, just how precarious is the Kangaroos' position?
Look, it was a tough year. We had a very bad year. Our gate receipts were very poor. Our membership was down a bit on dollar per head. We can't afford to do it again, so we're doing something about it. We're trying to arrest the situation.
It's a fairly stark campaign that you're embarking on with a Beware the Kangaroos. We can see it there, the number to ring. But I mean, that we've seen other clubs in the past to go down this path to a degree. What was your thinking behind a sort of a shock campaign, I guess, like this?
Well, I guess it's got a dual message. We say to our opposition, we're still in for the long haul. We're going to be here for another 100 years, but we're saying to our members, look, be cautious. You've got to get out and, you know, if you love to go to work on a Monday and say the Kangaroos won again, well, we need you to contribute.
Do you think it's difficult for the fans to get the two messages? The fact that the AFL's just got a new sponsorship, they've got huge TV right money that we all know about, yet the clubs are still saying you need to be a member for the club to survive.
There's no doubt the weighting numbers is just such an important part of the game. I mean, the more members we have, the greater chance we have of prosperity. And our membership numbers haven't been too bad, you know, but still on AFL averages, we're finding it hard.
The amazing thing is we do look at the comparison between the AFL average. It's just the strong success of the Roos, and in particular, even in those years following grand final victories. Obviously, between 96 and 97, you went up quite a bit. But last year, and people we always equate success with increase in memberships, but it doesn't always seem to be the case.
Well, last year, those figures don't actually portray another 3,000 members we had who bought an armchair membership. So we're quite pleased with the increase. The AFL decided not to count those. So they're tell a little bit of a lie. We had 25,000, including our armchair, who, you know, we welcome them as well. They can't get to the football. It seems to be the way with a lot of North supporters. But, you know, we were pretty happy last year, but we can't afford to be complacent about it, and we know there's even more out there who should belong.
How important is things like the draw when it comes to adding up the dollars and cents at the end of the year? Because you had a pretty tough one as far as raising funds last year.
Look, no doubt about that. It really is paramount. It's becoming more so with the change in the gate sharing arrangement. As you know, last year we didn't get to play Essendon at home. We didn't get to play Carlton at home in these games, and lucky enough this year we have it. But I mean, I think the 6 clubs in Melbourne who don't have those opportunity to play the Big Four, and it's difficult for us, and we're going to do something about that.
You have, as you said, a lot of members that are armchair package and so forth, and you're really taking the club to the whole of the country, aren't you?
Well, we are, and we've got a new package that we've really launched this year, and people in Perth or people in Tassie or people in Canberra can buy a 4-game package, and we think it's great value, and you know, we urge all the people watching us all around Australia to, for $66 they can get a 4-game, and they can go to any game the Kangaroos are playing anywhere. So we're making ourselves as accessible as we possibly can.
And just finally, I know you're pushing into Tassie and you're trying everything. Are you still going to be here next year?
I've got plenty of work to do, I can tell you that, Hutto. And I went down to Tassie because we had a chance to sign up 1,000 new members, which we did last Tuesday.
Thanks for joining us, Greg. Good luck this afternoon.
Welcome.
Greg Miller, the Chief Executive of the Kangaroos. We'll take a break. Back shortly with our Ansett Future Flyer.
There's many a strange story in a place like this. Here's one. Escapologist the great Houdini was careful with the dollar. He was buried in the same bronze casket he'd bought years before for one of his escape routines. We know people have genuine reasons for their requests, so you can talk freely to Brenton James about yours. His father and grandfather were also local funeral directors, so he knows funerals. Brenton James and family, quality funerals, common sense prices.
Holdfast Bay's unique place in history is being celebrated at the exciting new Bay Discovery Centre, situated where else but at the end of the tram line. It's a $3 million development at the Glenelg Town Hall. Take an exciting interactive journey into our past with spectacular multimedia exhibits. A team of friendly volunteers will make sure your family will love the experience. And it's free. Visit the brand new restaurant and wine bar downstairs. It's all open now, 7 days a week, 10 till 5.
Can you go past a Daewoo Nubira? Nubira is the most powerful car under 20 grand and it's packed with features. It's got a 2-litre double overhead cam engine, air conditioning, power steering, electric windows, and CD player, driver's airbag, 4-wheel disc brakes, and Daewoo Free Care, which includes 3-year scheduled servicing. You can't go past the incredible price from $18,990. Compare the value with other cars and you won't go past your Daewoo dealer for the feature pack Daewoo Nubira from $18,990. Will you?
Thinking about refinancing your home loan to pay it off sooner? Then call Great Southern Loan, because the best local home loan just got better. By depositing your pay into your loan, you can pay your home off sooner. You can still access your money anytime, over the phone or the internet. And you get our fully optioned, low standard variable interest rate with no ongoing fees. You won't find this flexibility at a bank, so talk to a local business about the best home loan in town. Call Great Southern Loan now for a free brochure.
For 23 years, the Cork and Cleaver restaurants have tempted guests with the finest of steaks and mouth-watering seafood. Now they proudly present the Cork and Cleaver Spice, a succulent 300-gram Scotch fillet cooked to perfection, smothered in mild hot pepper and hickory, and served with a baked potato. And until the end of March, you'll receive with our compliments a jar of this unique spice valued at $8 with every order of this special dish. First-class personal service in a classic setting, the Cork and Cleaver restaurants.
It's a very warm day here in Canberra, very humid for this Ansett Cup match between the Kangaroos and St Kilda, and that could have quite an effect this afternoon, I would think, with the heat for both sides, Paul. Well, all through the Ansett Cup, we've been looking at some of the young players, and again, we're going to highlight another one of the young and up-and-coming players in the AFL.
Ansett's Future Flyers.
Well, young Justin Kosicki,
yes.
or Kowicki, some would like to refer to him as, is the future flyer, and justifiably so. The young fella played his footy last year for the Murray Bushrangers, was a great performer for the state team, and secured All-Australian selection. Picked up in the draft as one of the first 2 picks, along with his mate Nick Rewalt, and great hands, a tall kid, versatile. He's going to be able to play up the ground on the ball and in the forward line. So he's going to get his chance today. I'm going to get a good opportunity to have a look at him. But he's pretty lean still, but he's a good mover and a very talented footballer.
He's had his injury problems over the summer, but like Rewald, who we still won't see for a few more weeks. But he's out there today, and I hear him talking during the week, and he was just so excited to be out there, and a lot of pressure obviously on the top couple of draft picks, and he'll be happy just to get out there and have a game, I guess.
Well, he will be, and if he gets an early touch, an early grab, we're not assuming he's starting on the ground, of course, but that will help him doing the world of good. And look, he's got all the talent in the world. He just needs to take his time, catch his breath, but the first game's always very exciting.
Well, as you can see, the teams are out on the ground, so we'll take our final break and come back for the bounce of the ball. The Saints and the Roos from Manuka Oval.
This news update brought to you by Commonwealth Bank's 1-year guaranteed rate home loan.
Good afternoon. Coming up at 6 on 7 News, growing anger over the loss of the Le Mans race in Adelaide after just one season. More than 20 partygoers on board a luxury yacht rescued after the craft runs aground. In sport, how bad is Port's gun forward Warren Tredray's knee injury? And yet again, Steve Waugh stands tall for Australia. And how could a mother reject this cute baby cheetah? Details on how it will be saved at 6 on 7 News.
At Phone Shack, you can forget the frills, forget the hype, and get the one thing everybody's looking for: quality Telstra coverage at ridiculous prices. Like this Hyundai 300e for free. Free connection to Telstra MobileNet, $10 worth of free calls a month, half-price call rates plus 1,000 free SMS a month till the end of this year. All for just $20 a month. There's a shack near you. Call this number now and save on a fantastic new mobile phone from Phone Shack.
Why are Adelaide's 8 hair machine salons the style leaders? Vincent Ronaldo explains.
Hair Machine is an artistic team full of talented individuals.
I believe that they come to us to get that latest look.
Hair Machine gives great service and quality.
Hair Machine are leaders in style and design.
So they look to us to sort of reproduce that work that they see on the catwalk.
Come and see us.
Salon of the Year.
The Lion. The Burger. The Beer. The Deal. $8.90. The Lion, Melbourne Street, North Adelaide.
Our hearts were always open to members of the royal family, and none was more popular or busier than the Queen Mother, seen here in March 1958. First stop, a civic reception at the Town Hall, suitably decked with bunting and overflowing with invited guests in their autumn finery. Then on to North Terrace, laid out in a carpet of flowers, before the first official duty, opening the new hospital at Woodville, named in honour of her daughter, Queen Elizabeth II.
This Adelaide Memory is brought to you by Adelaide Bank. Adelaide's Bank.
Don't shoot until I give you the signal. Good luck, Dig. Cover me!
Need cover? Call Fielders, the experts in steel roofing.
Broke my windscreen. Broke my windscreen. Woe is me, what shall I do? Simply phone us. Instant windscreens.
And we'll fix it just like you.
What's the number? What's the number? I can't stand it anymore.
It's the windscreens. Is our number 132 444.
You remember Jared from Subway? Turns out he's inspired a lot of people.
Still looking good. He'll show you the way. His name is Jared, and he'll lead you to Subway. That's where it goes, along with the rest. For 6 sandwiches with 6 grams of batter left.
What an inspiration. Subway. Eat fresh.
Welcome back to Manuka Oval. Just about ready for a start. Let's get down to Dipper on the boundary.
Yeah, thanks very much, Hutto. Very warm conditions, as you guys have mentioned, and very big ground out here. You certainly can't hide. You need plenty of run on your legs here. And the Prime Minister says to say hello, boys. I had breakfast with him this morning.
Oh, good
Sorry
on
you
you.
guys couldn't catch up with him, but Mr. Howard said, enjoy the call.
Thank you, Dipper.
He's kidding himself.
As usual. It is very hot, though, as Dipper said, and that will have some impact on this game, you would think. We're underway with Capuano getting the tap. Quick kick forward by Brett Voss. He started last week's game so well. Mitch over the top of it, low, trying to charge through.
Well, an early surprise, Hutto, with Sav Rocker starting on the ball for the centre bounce. So already some interesting matchup alterations to the game.
You're tipping the Kangaroos to win?
Yes, I think going on 1 week's form.
Yeah, it's a bit hard, isn't it, to get an accurate read on how they're going. Stevens, Colbert, and a good mark. He played pretty well last week. They'll be looking for big things from Lee Colbert this year.
Oh, look, his eyes are on the ball. He's a very courageous player, Colbert. And there was great hands there, running with the flight of it. Very creative player, very smart.
Johnny Blakey, as always, good distance on the kick. Hall couldn't take it. Brett Voss, again, getting involved early. There's Rocker, as we said, playing up on the ball. Well tackled. Trapped well by Motlop. And good-looking kick, but there's a downfield free, I think. Hamill came in late, and the free will be taken. Maybe Shannon Grant could have marked it anyway, but...
A bit of exuberance early in the game. It's good to see. Grant obviously completed the mark. There it is, a bit of a shove. It's always there.
So Shannon Grant. And good defensive work. Already Capuano getting back, helping out in defence. First score on the board.
Well, I know a little bit about how Matty Capuano might be feeling today, playing against his old teammates, all very good friends of his. It must be tough, but new clothes, new club, looking to really make a stamp on St Kilda, and he's very important to them.
And also McLaren, of course, who's gone the other way. Over to play for the Kangaroos. Nathan Burke was one of their best last week, into the middle. Good-looking kick. Couldn't take it. Had good support, though. Motlop's kick is run down. He goes again. Umpire plays the holding the ball decision.
Oh, Big Stu will be pretty happy getting a free kick early on a tackle, and it's always a great way to start a game.
Plenty of Kangaroos back in defence. Everett couldn't get to there. McCartney it was cleaning up. Makepeace. Very quiet crowd at the moment. I think it's a very warm afternoon. It's sort of more like a cricket crowd at the moment than the cheering you'd expect from a footy crowd. Grant up to centre half forward. Peckett running back with the flight, trying to avoid a collision. Picked up by Hall. Diving mark, taken well. Harvey. Low kick, and that's a good strong mark. Capuano flooding back.
The St Kilda players so far really zoning off their forwards and paying dividends early, but if North Melbourne or the Kangaroos start spotting up from midfield through to half forward, they could find themselves in a bit of bother.
Colbert couldn't take it. Rocker. Stevens. Let's be quick with the kick. And it falls safely in the arms of a teammate. And it looks like Shannon Watt going back to have a shot for goal.
As I was just talking about, Hutto, the zoning off. Watt just found himself with plenty of space, probably too much space for a forward inside 50. And the St Kilda players pretty happy just to give him a bit of space, and you know, you pay a heavy price.
So Shannon Watt for the Kangaroos. Kick the first behind of the match, the Roos. Terrific kick.
Why are Adelaide's 8 hair machine salons the leaders in hair design? Vincent Ronaldo explains.
Hair Machine is recognised throughout Australia for the training.
At Hair Machine, we are unique and we care.
We're about creating a passionate style for each person, which is the most important thing about hairdressing.
The product is good because we believe in it.
Love to experiment with styles. At Hair Machine, we give good quality service.
Salon of the Year.
Good start from Shannon Watt and the Kangaroos.
Let's give you the updates on the benches here, boys. For the Kangaroos, it's Rawlins, Daniel Harris, Daniel Pratt, Adam Lang and Stuart Cochrane.
Thanks, Dipper.
Colbert now picking up Hamill, sitting on the wing here.
Capuano beaten by Rocco. Did well in the second tap to Harvey. Promising signs for Sab in the ruck. A long kick, charging through Archer. And we can expect a better year from Glenn Archer. Probably had his worst year in quite a while last year, Glenn Archer. Had a few injury worries and so forth, but he's pretty pumped for this year.
He looks very fit. Sab will be enjoying his run in the ruck. I knew that he often played, came on the ball for Collingwood, so it's not unfamiliar territory, and he'll be enjoying the space.
I knew another full forward that did that later in his career. Burke over the top. It's a bit of a shove. Jess Sinclair, who we saw play last week against the West Coast Eagles, of course, the former Fremantle player, right in amongst it, Nathan Burke.
It's a pretty spirited game last week, the West Coast and the Kangaroos. It's not so far today.
Brett Allen picks out a free kick, going St Kilda's way to Thompson. And the Kangaroos pushing right down the ground. Already it's fairly crowded, and McCartney just edging nicely off Stuart Lowe. Here's Blakey and then goes again out wide. Abraham. Delaney interfering. King trying to take the advantage, but he can't do that.
It was a little untidy there by Tony. Had the right idea, but was in two minds then whether to jump for the mark or spoil, and successfully did neither.
Abraham sets it up with a high kick. Gale down there to spoil with Capuano. Hall. Oh! They call it the old don't argue, don't they? That was Hall. Well, you can get into trouble doing that, but umpire said it was okay. Oh, Abraham fumbled at first, but then when he had a bit of oncoming pressure from Robert Powell, he handled it cleanly. This is King setting up the pass. Harvey just couldn't get there. Hamill over the top. Burke. Stevens squeezed the kick out. Hall takes the mark.
Well, at the moment, the Saints players are outnumbering the Kangaroo back, so the Kangaroos are going to be very careful how they bring it into the forward line.
David King. What a brilliant effort from David King. It deserved better than that. I'm not sure what the team rules are in that situation, but he was very close.
I think at times as a forward, you've got to back yourself, so it was a great attempt by Kingy.
Let's have a look again. Barry Hall. Ooh.
Yeah, that's what he didn't do last week against O'Brien. We remember him getting pinned and trying to run aggressively out of defence.
That's right, yeah.
He's learned his lesson.
He wasn't going to let anyone stop him this time.
And the benches there for the St Kilda boys. Sean Charles, Matthew Young, Justin Kozitsky. That's the one. Trinides, Ben Walton and Brett Moyle.
Kangaroos, 139. Saints yet to score so far. It haven't really looked like it either. Free kick going to the man on the bottom of the pack. And I guess that was one of the disappointing things about last week, Fish, was when you looked at who their best players were. Again, it was the old firm, wasn't it? Burke and Lowe and Thompson.
Yes, it was. And there's always often a number of reasons for that first game. But we saw some good signs from players like Hamill. But we've got to do more often. Hamill, he's finding himself on the wing today playing against Colbert so far. So got an opportunity to cover more ground.
Delaney back in the team this week after playing in the VFL practice match last week. Gale did pretty well with the ball handling in the end, and the Saints can now mount a meaningful attack. Spider Everett with just space ahead of him, and Aussie Jones versus Pickett. Should be a good contest here. Aussie Jones harassed, and Byron Pickett wins out. And wins out convincingly. His kick wasn't as good as he would have liked, but Shannon Grant made it look good. Nicky Martin unloaded the bomb. Oh, Capuano, who will be pumped today, spilling one he would have liked to have taken. David King been busy early.
Geez, Colbert found some space out here, boys.
Makepeace, and there's the man you're talking about, Lee Colbert. Can unload from 50. No, did the discipline thing that time. Went short, and you would have thought Abraham might have thought about running on then, but he's gone back to have the set shot.
And so he should from that distance out. Unfortunately, Hamill getting caught out of it there, drawn down the ground, but the turnover was costly. Colbert found space behind the play and was able to be the link man in that thrust forward. So paying dividends, but you take a calculated risk when you do that. And Party Man Hamill, if that turnover didn't occur, was in the box seat.
And Abraham just pushed it a bit. Collects the post. So the Kangaroos to 139, and the Saints yet to score.
It's in a bit of wayward kicking to goal, unfortunately.
On a 1-4-10, I should say. Now the Saints going the outer side this time. Peckett. Blakey deciding conceding ground was okay. Had a good support with numbers with Stevens. Thompson shepherded away from it. Well done. Stevens, a funny-looking helicopter kick, but it did the job. He finds his man, Shannon Grant, on the outer side. To centre half forward. Shannon Watt was the man he was looking for, but Brett Voss, as he did last week, starting well. Some possessions across half back.
Good mark by Voss. Just courage to leave his opponent and go for the mark. You've just got to back yourself in sometimes.
McCartney couldn't take that one. Low, Motlop, Colbert. Callahan got one high from Sinclair. So Callahan with a low kick, and it was a good kick. And Chad Davis, who was pretty good for them as the match wore on last week, takes the mark, and he's generally a pretty good kicker of the ball. What about from this distance, Fish?
Really carefully, found a bit of space there, very cleverly done too. Just pushed forward quickly. His opponent was off him and lost him in traffic. Good chance here.
He's covered the distance okay, and the Saints are on the scoreboard.
Lucky I didn't put my house on it, had I?
No.
But,
which house is that, Paul? It's a pretty flat game at the moment, isn't it? Yeah. Very warm conditions, very big ground. I mean, plenty of space here. The players have certainly got to run to create opportunities, but you can certainly get caught out if you don't work hard.
Talking to a foremost expert in weather patterns this morning, in Wayne Carey, suggested that the altitude here in Canberra, Dipper, makes it a bit harder, a bit warmer, a bit muggier.
Interesting comments from the King himself.
Yeah, the good news for Kangaroos fans is that he's coming along pretty well. Although he did say he was blowing a bit of air, but he'll be back shortly. In the meantime, Shannon Grant around the body. Gets it over the line and out of bounds. It is a strange atmosphere as we have a look at the Kangaroos.
You likened it to a cricket crowd earlier in the day. That was a very good analogy so far, but the crowd has built. We'll probably have close to 8,000-9,000 here now.
Well, it still is, of course, primarily a cricket ground. They've done a lot of work on the facilities here. Of course, the Prime Minister's 11 matches played here. Dipper's mate, John Howard, looks after every year.
I didn't realise how close Dipper and our Prime Minister were until today.
Well, apparently he consults him on all major policy decisions.
Get on with the game, boys.
Which might explain a few things. Ball thrown in. Just joking, Dipper. Robert Powell goes to ground. Gets a free for in the back. Former Tiger and Magpie.
Rocker's gone back to full forward, Hutto, and Corey McKernan's having a run around the ball now.
Davis.
Well, sometimes a bit of an arm wrestle early in the game, and neither side have really put a stamp on it. Kangaroos have had their chances early, but there hasn't been anything that's very open or free-flowing, and as the game wears on, it's more and more likely to happen.
Let's hope so.
Jason McCartney found some space right on the other side. See if it gets used up here.
McCartney takes it. And he does spot up with a kick. McLaren, who's set against his old team, Aussie Jones, and the ball over and out. 1-4-10 the Kangaroos, one behind the Saints. Group 2 Ansett Cup match. Saints need to win to keep their hopes of trying to make it through to the semi-finals alive. A win here for the Kangaroos could seal their spot depending on what happens tonight between Collingwood and the West Coast.
Yeah, it's an important game for the Saints for more reasons than just a win, though.
Absolutely, yep.
You know, they'll be looking today to see what sort of some of the players have got to offer in this early part of the season and look to consolidate a bit of a team. We know there's good players to come back in, but nonetheless.
Callahan looks for low. Not quite. Yes, or is it a free over the shoulder?
I think it was a free kick given there. Pushed hard back into the contest, Stewie. He just owns that front position so well.
Everett and Martin. This will be a terrific battle. Hopefully it will be at least. Martin starting well. He's all over the ball there. He'd be very happy with a negative, well, a neutral result like that.
Well, if there's classical Mickey Martin, that's one element of his game he's very good at. He can bring it to ground, and his second efforts are very good. There it is, and straight back on it, and cleverly bottles it up.
And now a chance for Spider. Well, things just aren't going his way at the moment, are they?
Oh no, I mean, some guys actually when you play, you're worried if they're going too much your way this time of year. You're worried about whether you can sustain it for a season. So I don't think Spider will be losing in his sleep. But if one of those lands, I'm sure he'll be pretty happy.
But after a pre-season, Paul, you certainly want to hit the season full of running, full of confidence. You might win 1 or 2 games, but this pre-season form means a lot to players.
Oh, it's a fair call, Dipper. Certainly for some of the young fellas who are trying to put their hand up for a spot in the senior side, but for some of the more experienced players, they're not as pedantic about owning or taking over or totally dominating football this time of year, I wouldn't imagine.
McKernan, it looks a more trimline Corey McKernan this year too. King loves to take them on like that. Shannon Watt's been prominent early, kicked 1 goal. Grant, quick kick from McLaren, now very wide. What's Byron Pickett doing up there? And well handled that time by Knowles. And now Hayes gets them away. Gale's kick was smothered. Makepeace. Beetham, who has handled the ball pretty well. McCartney, lovely kick to Harvey. And
ex-teammate.
Yeah, maybe he got the call. Maybe honoured the
Got
voice.
the old nickname going.
Yep. Hall running out of defence. Davis. And the Saints can look to move into attack. Hall kept on running. Being pursued by McKernan. Unloaded in a pretty measured fashion because he saw Stuart Lowe. Nathan Burke leads back to the square. Lowe's kick all important here, and it's a good kick. It's an excellent kick. And the Saints will have the chance to score a goal here. And the crowd comes to life.
And the Saints players should go back to Barry Hall and say, that's what we want you to do. Not only get the ball, run through the players, but pinpoint the kick, and that's exactly what he did then. Well,
it was a great setup, Dipper, from the St Kilda players there. As Berkey, who's starting to enjoy a goal, you get the impression. Lines up.
And kicks it through, so the Saints' first goal on the board.
She's got a problem.
Oh, she has a problem.
Does your pet suffer from vacuum-ritis? Fear of the vacuum cleaner.
She hates it.
Well, she certainly doesn't like it, mate.
How to cure a case that really sucks. All new Harry's Practice. Sunday. Ben at 7. If you thought the weakest link was tough.
Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Then this Sunday's Pop Stars is a shocker.
You just didn't quite make it.
I'm a no.
Only 1 in 4 will get through, and not everyone will agree.
No offence, but that's not what it's all about.
Pop Stars, Sunday at 7.
Saints on the ball with a major. 1-4 to 1-2 Capuano. Involved in the last couple of passages. Hamill. Terrific normally in that situation. And again, he put his body on the line. Hayes gets it out to Aussie Jones. Can he score a goal off the left boot? Aussie Jones would be a big boost to the confidence of both Jones and the Saints, and he gets it. So well done, Aussie Jones.
No thought to turning onto his right foot there. Backed his left foot in from about 40 metres out. And it was a lovely strike of the ball. That's a good sign. The courage of Hamill pushing hard back into the pack. The ball still came to the front, which is critical because the team rules, generally speaking, are to get front and square to those contests. So he gave his Crummers a chance. And Capriano out of the middle. He's been dominant so far. He read McKernan's early jump there. And that's where Corey sometimes gets himself into a bit of bother. But Matty is a pretty switched on ruckman.
It'll be interesting to see how Blighty handles Aussie Jones too this year. See if he can get more out of him than we have seen in the last couple of years. McLaren wrapped up. King. Brett Voss. Some pressure from Sav Rocker there, but took it nicely.
See Sav pushing up more around half forward, and that may change when the King comes back, Wayne Carey.
Callahan was the target, then didn't take the mark, but allowed it to fall loose to Jones and down to Byrne. Good match up there against Makepeace, but he's playing on quickly with the pass, and Tony Delaney takes it well. So good vision there from Nathan Burke.
So we know how great a defender Berkey's been throughout his career, but it's almost like a rebirth. These early signs around the forward line. His work rate's unquestionable. He works hard to each contest, and he's presented himself very well. And a very intelligent, quick chip there to Delaney. It's not about kick, Tony. Strikes it pretty well. So I'd give him the favour of the odds here.
So you'd almost give him no chance then, Fish. You said that. No, he's got it.
Up to 70,000 thoughts every day. Eyes which can differentiate between 10 million different colors. Hearing that detects frequencies between 20 and 20,000 hertz. And 656 muscles, 17 of which are moving when he smiles. When we develop digital technology, we know who it's for. LG, life's good.
Saints 3-2.
First change for the day, boys, will be happening very shortly. Daniel Harris coming on for the Kangaroos.
Archer. Shannon Grant. Gale underneath it. What having to come from behind. Peckett. And they're out of trouble, at least for the moment. Hayes. Under a fair bit of pressure from Sinclair. Did reasonably well in the end. And Hayes takes it over the line out of bounds. Robert Powell, as we see Harvey come off and young Harris come on. Robert Powell's another player who, if he given good fitness, could be a handy little player for the Saints.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. He's got great goal sense too, but I was quite impressed with Lenny Hayes. A difficult position where he couldn't take possession at the paddle forward, so a neutral scenario is as good as anything in that situation.
Makepeace this time trying to use Abraham to set the Roos into attack. He had no one to kick to. That's why he had to square off and come back around and try again from a different angle. Capuano using his height there to advantage, flying beautifully, timing it well. Big season required for the Saints from Matthew Capuano. Late fly there from Hamill.
Well, some good early signs from Capuano. He's positioned himself well on the defensive side of McKernan, who is not afraid to push aggressively forward, Curry. So Matty's got plenty of poise in that situation.
Brett Harvey back on the ground, and Sinclair's off for the Kangaroos.
Yeah, obviously, Dennis maybe not happy with Sinclair's work. Or maybe he wanted to get a message to Harvey. That's possibly what he was trying to do. Anyway, Hall takes it away.
It's a very good kick. He looked up the field. There was no one there, so he went for the boundary line.
Interesting, the view on Hall coming from St Kilda last year. The theory behind putting him in defence was they had too many players who were good dour defenders, but they just didn't initiate enough run down the ground. And that was the idea behind Barry Hall.
Well, we saw Dustin Fletcher for the Bombers do it so well last year and for a number of years now. And of course, Big Barry, if he can provide some penetration from the full-back line, then he's going to be a huge asset to the St Kilda lineup.
So a pretty interesting quarter we saw so far in this match. The first quarter, St Kilda in front, 3-2-20 to the Kangaroos, 1-4-10.
Thoroughly deserved their lead, the Saints. They struggled early for any system or cohesion, but once they split the game up a little bit and work hard off half-back through the midfield, the forwards can find space, and they do get the results. But the Kangaroos, as I said earlier, had some opportunities earlier, which they didn't take full advantage of, but it's really a very evenly poised game at this point in time, at quarter time. We'll see the coaches probably rotate their midfields a bit more. We saw the numbers start to happen with the Kangaroos, and with the heat the way it is today, you can fully imagine that to keep the run up through the midfield, there's going to be a lot of activity through the interchange bench.
Burke, Jones and Delaney, the goal kickers for the Saints. Watt, the goal kicker for the Roos. We'll take a break. Back with the second quarter.
On Today Tonight, Bother Boy Botham.
It's really tragic.
Stalking his former Aussie girlfriend.
He would also call my mother.
He made her spend $50,000 on him.
Restaurants, wine and Learjets.
She's dumped him, but 2 years on, Botham keeps hassling her.
Yes.
And Adelaide's in-laws war hots up.
This is a bizarre story.
Still feuding as one side tries to bankrupt his own family. Plus, meet the Crows' new coach.
Is he?
He's won a raffle to coach the team.
Oh, I'm calling the shots.
Next week.
Bob, where are you? I'm at Macleay's Glen Osmond Road. I'm rattling the doors and nobody here.
Look, it's Sunday. I said Macleay's Bulk Store, Coglan Street, Brompton. Beat this. There's sisal, $20 a metre off. Berber, a crazy $12 a square metre. And there's stacks of plush nylon to quit. Get on your bike.
Listen, I'm not leaving till Monday. There's a sale. Oh, officer, a sale. It's okay. I know all the Macleay boys. It's okay.
The Lion. The Burger. The Beer. The Deal. $8.90. The Lion, Melbourne Street, North Adelaide.
If you're planning a wedding, celebrate with family and friends in formal wear by Ferrari. Book this month at Ferrari, and regardless of the wedding date, you can hire from just $49 per outfit. But hurry, it's for bookings made this month only at Ferrari.
If you'd like a beautiful new professionally designed and renovated bathroom with no fuss, no hassles, everything included in the one fixed price, all fully guaranteed and installed from as little as $6,000, it's easy. Call Beaumont Bathrooms at 200 Grove Street.
What about the world? What about the air? Freezer.
One of the most enjoyable holidays you can have is a driving holiday. And where do you find the best of them? Where else but Queensland? For your free copy of the Queensland Motoring Holiday Guide, call 1800 222 689. Then just pack the car and enjoy the ride.
Where else but Queensland?
Well, interesting match here at Canberra. Quarter time, the Kangaroos kicked the first goal and they really dominated the early proceedings, but the Saints have hit back with 3 quick goals and lead by 10 points at quarter time. And it's a very warm day, so one would think that if the Saints can get a pretty good lead up, they might be a real chance here under Malcolm Blight. Well, coming up shortly on 7, a special about something that Dipper was part of, the rules trip to Ireland, the international rules trip. Let's get a sneak preview.
Road camp.
Let's go.
It's a beautiful day.
They're scared at the moment. Just laugh at them. Come on. Just laugh at them. Enjoy the experience in South Island.
Very poor impersonation then from one Robert Dippia to Medico, but check your local guides for details. As you can see there, plenty to look forward to. And Dipper, part of it all.
Yeah, sensational trip we had there. Of course, we beat the Irish in their own game. And join me, Mark Doran, Coach Dermot Brereton, James Hurd, the whole side. And we'll show around Ireland. We had a terrific time. So check your local guides inside Ireland.
Robbie Dippia Domenico, can you help me with that one?
Dippio Domenico.
Doesn't work, does it?
Second quarter about to get underway from Manuka Oval in Canberra. Brett Allen with the honours inside that huge circle that Paul Salmon helped introduce, being part of the rules committee.
Isn't it working well?
Gale takes the relieving mark. Paul out of defence looking for Everett, who looks like he's pushed up the ground.
Yeah, he's starting the ruck this quarter. I think he'll enjoy that. Like the shackles a bit and have a run around, blow it out a little bit.
Byron Pickett. Motlop. Backed himself there. And succeeds and might be able to go all the way from here. He decided at the last minute that he saw David King. I wonder whether Kingy would have done the same thing.
Well, we saw an example of Kingy in the first quarter, enjoying his opportunities from the boundary line. But on this occasion, that was a very good play by Motlop. Tied on the boundary, worked it around his opponent, took a bounce, steady, gave himself time and poise just to look inside and see if the other options were on. So it was very strong, just very disciplined football. So
it's amazing, isn't it, how many times a player will go for a run, have a few bounces, and then not hit their target.
Yeah. Well, they feel like sometimes the hard work's been done, I suppose, and the finishing is, of course, the most critical. Let's see how Kingy goes from 30 out. He's happy with it.
He likes it. It's a goal.
Monday.
How could you still be doing drugs?
In the practice.
You're asking me to conspire with you to keep her in jail?
Until the baby is born.
She's damned if he doesn't.
You're gonna wind up dead.
Will he be damned if he does? Monday. Tuesday.
Oh no, copy.
1 hour of heart-stopping drama.
Come on, little fella, come on.
With a twist that'll leave you speechless.
There's the door. You have to decide which side of it your future's on.
Tuesday on All Saints.
Kangaroos getting the goal they needed. McKernan beaten for it by Everett. It's young Harris getting the ball out of the middle. Shannon Grant, who was busy in the first quarter. Brett Voss also pretty busy. Game just seemed to have just stepped up a little notch, perhaps, as the players get acclimatised here in this second quarter. Anthony Stevens off his wrong side. Now he finds his right side and finds the middle.
Wow. That was a great goal by Steve. Anthony, big save provided the lead, but chose to ignore it and turn inside on his left. It was a fantastic goal. And just a bit of pressure at the bodies and the ball there at the contest. It just worked a little ugly forward. But the Kangaroos, just to start, they were winning in the second quarter. 2 quick ones, put themselves 2 points up, and with a bit of momentum going their way.
Were you surprised then Mark Gale, he allowed Stevens basically to get onto his left boot? He was fooled by the dummy onto the right, which is easy for us to say, I know, but doesn't kick too many off the right boot too well, does he? Stevens loves to get around onto his left. Here he is again. Pickett, and that's a good kick. Abraham got McKernan streaming downfield. That's the target. Harvey waits at the back. It goes even longer. Pickett over the top. Harvey camped underneath. The Roos have kicked 3 in probably less than 3.
It could be a part or a spare. It might be just one or a pair. A dozen, a score. There's one thing for sure. You'll never know what you'll find there.
Paramount Browns. New hardware and machinery. Factory surplus and second-hand just about anything.
You'll find it in kilos and pounds. You'll find it on heaps and on mounds. In gallons and litres. In yards and in metres. You'll find it at Paramount Browns.
Cash for scrap. 99 Cavan Road, Cavan.
You'll find it at Paramount Browns.
The Kangaroos suddenly, after being 10 points behind, are now 8 points in front.
It's interesting matchups too, with Archer going on to beat them in the middle here.
High one from Archer. Very high one. Abraham, Stevens, Beetham, young Harris, Delaney all in there. Watt, number 36, and the up by Well, it pays a free kick. I don't think people knew which way he was actually paying it, but it goes to St Kilda. Got some benches for a stipper.
I certainly have Anthony, McLaren, Sinclair, Pratt, Corey Jones, Adam Lang and Stuart Cochrane for the Kangaroos.
Beetham. Hamill cleared a path but couldn't take it. McCartney. Hamill, that's a pretty good handball. Here's Lenny Hayes. Smoothly done except for the kick, which was pretty ordinary.
It's a shame, you know, there's a lot of hard work went into that opportunity, and it's unfortunate it didn't quite come off. There it is.
The Hamill handball.
That's just great vision. Off his toes, clean hands, and a very crisp give. As I said, it's a shame that Lenny just couldn't quite finish it off on that occasion.
Brett Boyle on now for the Saints, and Beetham's come off.
Everett against McKernan. Everett doing pretty well to spoil on that occasion. Abraham. Thompson wanted it more in the end. Delaney had to fashion something out of the air with his kick. Davis a chance. He does the shepherding in the end. Gets it back from Powell. Hayes. He overhandled the ball on that occasion. The Saints, they're under pressure, though, in fairness. Well done, Davis, in the end to get the handball away. Hayes just pushed as he kicked it in the back plate. Could have been advantage to Lowe. Umpire says no, you'll have to come back.
Interesting that. A good professional free kick, almost, if you want to give credit where credit's due. Young Rawlings there, seeing that there was a man upfield that was wide open. Wasn't a bad free to give.
Lowe had his name written all over that one, but couldn't take it. Still there alive.
He's put a hamstring there, boys. He's on the ground, just grabbed his hamstring. He's on the cramp. It's Stuart Lang talking about.
Yeah, you'd say it'd be a hamstring, wouldn't you, rather than cramp, you would think at this stage. Well, it is very hot. Let's have a look.
It's a shame.
Let's hope it's not. A little hard to tell from there.
As soon as he went down, he went straight to his, his thigh there. And
yeah.
It's like he's clutching his hamstring, and it's unfortunate for Stewie because I don't think I've seen him that high for a little while.
Capuano kicks it, and it's back to a 1-point ball game.
It's simple, really. We only buy carpet or vinyl if we can sell it at half the price you would pay elsewhere. We buy in bulk, we take manufacturer's specials and all that sort of thing. All top quality, just half price. So for a whole house, a business, single room, or even a rug, all half price. Nalunga Carpets, now at Richmond Road, Keswick as well. I'm a simple man.
Stuart Lowe in some serious pain here at Manuka Oval. He tried to come off quickly, but the pain was just too much for him. Let's have a look at the hamstring area.
So that left leg he dragged over the top there and landed heavily on. That's a I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but that's looks all the bit like a good tear.
Yeah. And, in a way, it's an unusual way to do a hamstring, isn't it?
Kosicki's come on for...
Can't say I ever did one up that high, but...
no, that's for sure.
It's unfortunate for Stu. He's in great nick at the moment.
Hamill.
That's a better position for him too. You know, front there, playing centre-half forward. Key position, I suppose Malcolm's looking for him this year. And I suppose with Stewie going off, he's the man now.
There's certainly a lot of versatility to Aaron Hamill. Dip, and you're right. He always looks dangerous up forward. We know he's 1%ers are of a high standard when he's down there. And although he started on the wing, just like him up there, don't you? It's always a chance when he's there.
But you wouldn't mind playing alongside him either, would you? He's pretty good support.
Absolutely. As I said, he's so hard at it. And, he leads by example in the forward half.
Well, he likes the kick too, so the Saints answering very well. Kangaroos coming out with the first 3 goals of the quarter. And the Saints answer back and are back in front here.
It's a good response too from the Saints, because the way the Kangaroos open up this second term, it looked like it'd be putting a bit of a gap in this game, but the way the Saints have just bounced back and shown the great character to just get themselves back in front.
McKernan and Everett. McKernan getting the tap, but Saints have the chance through Moyle. And now Delaney, who took them on, and his pants almost ripped off. Trying to get clear, but couldn't. Stevens Overwhelmed by numbers. Fair bit of pressure applied from both teams. Was that a holding free? If it was, the advantage is played. Shannon Grant, good depth on the kick. Not quite the direction exactly he would have liked. Motlop holding the ball.
Gee, I don't know. I think that's a tough call on Motlop there. Great control. Took the ball on the bounce there.
Takes the ball,
had
the opportunity, and then didn't dispose of it. So a good decision.
Yeah, fair. Ball's there.
Pickett did well, gets it back to Harvey and bombs it in again. Shannon Watt got into good position in the end. Hall waiting down. Oh! Just get out of my way, Barry Hall has said. And the umpire this time has paid a free kick.
Well, like I said earlier, he learned his lesson from last week where he cannoned straight into O'Brien of Collingwood. He's certainly not making the same mistake twice this week, but you just can't do it indiscriminately like that.
That second action, I think, probably cost him to a degree.
It's all bent arm stuff, and really, if you're going to do it, you prepare a little earlier and fend off from the chest. But
young Harris, well, nice welcome for him.
Yeah, how do you do? Well, he's just going to make him pay now. Kick the goal and make it worth the trouble.
Sav and Barry having a big discussion about it there back in the
young
goal
Daniel's
script.
in trouble here. The doctor's calling for the bench.
Yeah, if he can't take his kick, he's going to have to come off the
He's
ground.
coming off now, mate.
Oh, you'd be disappointed in that, wouldn't you, as a youngster? You'd want to at least have your shot.
Oh, at least. He's done the right thing, but
McKernan takes it instead and puts it through.
Introducing Eclipse. Star quality and value for money that's simply out of this world. Yours to explore with down-to-earth service from Spaceline Caravans.
He's your man at Spaceline Caravans. Nothing compares against first-hand experience. Bobcat, ask him how. Bobcat, see him now at Spaceline Caravans. Bobcat.
Colbert's just come off the ground. Bit of a blood rule there. Bit of a gash on the knee there.
Spider Everett off as well for the Saints.
Yep.
Trinity's on. So the Kangaroos up by 1 now. Much more free-flowing footy in this second quarter. It was a pretty ordinary start to the match. First the Kangaroos, then the Saints, and now the Kangaroos again. Peppering the goals. King with a low kick. Brett Voss again in good position. Takes the mark, and then, well, he didn't have anywhere to go for a minute, but he wanted to keep the ball moving at all costs. As the Saints through Gale go into attack. Not much doing across half forward unless it makes it through to Trinity's. Almost did. Aussie Jones weaved his way through and then found out he had nowhere to go. Trinity's tries the little measured kick, and it's okay. Callahan.
they always look dangerous, the Saints, when they're pushing aggressively through the midfield like that, get a bit of run off the half back. And they find the holes in the forward line. It was a clever play there. Good poise by Trinity. He's very polished on both sides. And a nice little left foot pass there into Callahan, who's playing out of the middle.
But not kicking it through the middle. So scores level 5-4-34 for both the Kangaroos and the Saints. It is a very warm day. Very humid day here in Canberra. The league was thinking about introducing the longer breaks.
Well, I've introduced the 8 interchange for the warmer climates of Cairns and Darwin. Who would have thought you might need it for Canberra?
Yeah, exactly. Just how's it feel like down there, Dipper, at this stage in terms of the
well, it is very,
humidity?
very warm. That's why they're using the benches here, obviously. But plenty of water has been run out to the players. The players are certainly gasping. Of course, the Kangaroos arrived this morning, been waiting around for a little while, so it'll take them a while to warm up. And the Saints came in last night, so let's just see what happens after half-time.
Capuano. Mickey Martin. Oh, got one late there from Thompson.
You just need an energy level. When the ground's this size, you need players to really use their voice and get the energy level up, because if you don't, you can certainly become very lazy.
There's no doubt about that, Dipper, and There's not a lot of energy emanating from the crowd today as they sit back and enjoy their footy, taking it in. But Archer's a good kick, and you'd have to give him a fair chance from 40 out. Straight in front.
Well, he'll certainly put the Kangaroos in front. It's a matter of by how much. And it's by a goal as he splits the middle.
Ali finds true love twice. So there's twice the danger. You're double booked.
Ali!
And a wicked twist.
No, bad girl, no.
7's all-new Ali, Monday. They've all chosen their perfect dates.
It's not a game anymore.
This is the episode where things really start to happen.
I don't think you want to watch the rest of that. I have to play the rest of the clip.
Temptation Island, Tuesday, 9:30.
Well, umpire Michael Bozza has got the ball in the middle. One of his fellow umpires, Darren Morris, is wearing a cap. And such is the heat here as the Saints try to get back on level terms with the Kangaroos. Moyles' kick, running back. McCartney had to really watch out as young Corey Jones came through. Hamill's kicked down, but Martin stood the ground against Trianides. Hamill battering up. But Mickey Martin, very clever across the body. Shannon Grant, 15 possessions already in this match. Harvey's been busy as well. Smother there from Powell.
That was one well done by Powell, and I'm not sure if I was Trianides, I'd be trying to body Mickey Martin under the ball too much today. It's an
interesting
exercise
matchup.
in futility.
Interesting matchup, that, isn't it? I mean, you would think one-on-one, Mickey Martin is not going to let Trianides take a mark unless Trianides can really run him around, which I guess is the idea.
Oh, the Kangaroos will be trying to get Mickey Martin back to full back.
This is Kozinski, an impressive-looking big fella by the look of that. His kick wasn't great for Trianides, but he did very well, and Burke helps out and kicks a terrific shot at goal, and a good team goal for the Saints, and young Justin Kozinski getting his fair share of plaudits there from his teammate. Well done too for Trianides.
Yeah, that was a wonderful effort all around there. The contest there from Trianides at the back, well out of position, but just managed to bring it to the front there. Bit of a scramble, but Burke is where he should be, and mopped up. He's kicking goals on his left foot around the corner, straight in front, and he's got all the tricks, Burke, hasn't he? And becoming quite a dangerous forward.
Well,
There's lots of
multiple goal
rotations.
kicker.
Sorry?
Multiple goal kicker today.
Exactly. Lots of rotations in the Kangaroos' back half at the moment, so just trying to get themselves settled.
In fact, at the moment, Mickey Martin's got two opponents down there. They're just trying to work that out. Meanwhile, Archer's running into attack. And he can line up for goal.
Well, we spoke a little bit earlier about the experimenting that coaches sometimes do in these sorts of games, and though Archer's had his games up the forward half in the past, it would be interesting to see if this is sort of a ploy that the Kangaroos like to see more of. And if he keeps on kicking goals like this, then he could just make it a second home.
So Glenn Archer with the Kangaroos back in front again, as he did just moments ago, and that time misses to the right.
Anthony Everett back on the ground. Capuano obviously having a rest, and also the news on Lowe. It is a bit of a hamstring strain there, probably won't take part anymore in this game. And Peckett's on the bench as well. Andrew Thompson's on the bench as well, and Beetham and the young fella Ben Walton, who hasn't had a run yet.
Barry Hall. Callahan takes the mark. Quick to his feet. Kowitzki set himself. Charles, who hasn't had much of a run yet, got that one away quickly. All Kangaroos across half back though. Byron Pickett had the time and used his young Corey Jones. He got good raps on him. It wasn't a great kick though. Callahan should be shepherded for here by Powell. Ears allows him clear. Again, not much to fire away at, and he hooked the kick. We'll give him credit for that. Finds Nathan Burke.
See, the last few possessions by the Saints have been just of the highest quality out of the back line. Into the midfield, we saw the real value of Aaron Hamill in a contest there. Didn't take the mark, but it came forward.
Well done by Moyle. A long run. He led for the ball from about 40 metres away, and eventually Burke was able to pick him out. Although a tough shot coming up here.
Yeah, the angle's no better, but he's a little closer. Looks like all his options are shut down on the inside, so he's going to have a shot. Oh, very clever.
Well done. Another one for the Saints.
The time it takes to acquire the knowledge.
How many does it take to tango?
2. A lifetime. Time it takes to make a potential 100 grand.
Let's play. Start the clock.
1 hour. Time it takes to go from hero to humiliation on national television.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Less than 2 minutes.
He's buckling under the pressure.
9 new players, only one will win.
Who will be the victor?
The worldwide phenomenon, The Weakest Link, Monday on 7.
So a very interesting contest now here at Manuka Oval in Canberra.
Interesting with the ruck work down here, Paul, with Spider and Corey.
Well, these two are seasoned campaigners, Dip, and they are certainly taking full advantage of their ability to be able to use the whole circle, the whole arc. So it's interesting to watch. It's a good battle.
Yeah, they're enjoying the salmon rule. The salmon circle.
Hardly.
Blakey takes it away. Here's his Byron Pickett. Saints leading by 5, but seems to be going from one end to the other in terms of shots at goal. Lang couldn't get it cleanly. King tries to do it himself. Tough one for Hall. Had good support in the end from Matthew Young. Arrives late on the scene. Kick no good though. Hall. He broke one tackle. Watch out, he's gone. And holding the ball. Well, something's got to be done there with Barry Hall. Obviously, they're encouraging him to run, but maybe his vision and decision-making skills need a little bit of work on at the moment.
Well, it's all right to point the finger at Barry and say he's trying to carry it too much, but there's got to be some protection there for the player with the ball as well. There's got to be either physical protection or voice protection, and there seems to be little of either at the moment. So, Barry would drop his head if he's disappointed, but he shouldn't bury himself on that.
Stevens doesn't make him pay for that one. So the Saints still in front.
And last year's Saints best and fairest, Nathan Thompson about to come back on. Him and Steve-O were having a good duel there until he came off.
They cover a bit of ground, those two, Dipper.
They certainly do. And the kids watching, just watch these two. They're just hard workers. The bottom of the pack is trying to find space, trying to pick up each other.
Everett the target from the Hall kick in. The hands over it, but couldn't. Oh, Sav looked like he copped one through the middle of the pack there. Makepeace. Rocker again. Powell just couldn't get the handle on it. Burke can though. Playing a terrific game up forward. Mickey Martin charging out. Gets good support down there from Stuart Cochrane. Hayes.
If you were coaching St Kilda, you wouldn't be overly concerned about the Trinides Mickey Martin matchup.
I don't think so.
The ball hits the ground. Ball spends a lot of the time on the ground, and certainly Mickey trying to cover a clever player like Trinides is going to have his work cut out.
It's about the way then that they bring it into attack, isn't it? They can't bomb it just really high, let them go one-on-one, but any other way in and they might have the advantage.
Absolutely.
Lang. He's a big kick of the ball, but he's going to go short. Shannon Grant with Young bearing down. And there's Rawlings slipping in to take the mark. 35 out directly in front.
You see Archer's new right up the forward line this year, maybe releasing him from the back line.
Yeah, we discussed that earlier, Dipper, and you're quite right. It's we've seen flashes of him as a forward over the past few years, but may well be we'll see more of him there this year. This young Rawlings is a clever player too. He's had a few games under his belt now over the past couple of years and has enjoyed the opportunity, so they'll be looking for some big improvement from him this year as Harris, after poking the eye, comes back on the field.
Thompson back on the ground and Stevens right next to him.
Well, Jade Rawlings at Hawthorn has certainly come on in the last 12 months or so, hasn't he? So
yeah,
Kangaroos will be looking for something similar from Brady. Oh, he's missed there. So 6-7 plays 7-4 now. Brett Harvey. 4 kicks. 2 marks.
I tell you, Barry Hall's been very good. He doesn't fluff too many kicking full back.
That's true. Byron Pickett comes in, but here's Rawlings again. Archer stands the ground. Oh, didn't take the mark. Young was flying through. Lang, gang tackle. Well played. Callaghan got it out. Hamill ran to Blakey. Harris, click. The ball went out very quickly. Young, one-on-one. Kowitsky and McCartney. Free kick to the youngster.
Just he had that. He really held front spot very well there.
Justin Kowitsky. Well, tough kick. Was that in the back? No, the umpire put the whistle to the mouth. Michael Vozzo, but then didn't blow it.
He thought about it.
Let's have another look.
It was a well-placed kick there by the big fella Kowitsky. And, well, on any other day, he may have possibly have got away with that and got a kick out of it, but umpire's doing a great job.
No, you don't play anymore. You don't have to suck up to them anymore. That's a great kick. Not quite through, though, but Kowitsky really showing the signs already as to why he was picked up when he was for the Saints.
He's buzzing around out there, isn't he? He's done everything right. Already showing he's a pretty good reader of the game and positioned himself well. So
very agile
great
for his
sign.
size
Yeah, I
too.
was going to say mobility for a big man. It's fantastic to have, isn't it? Not all ruckmen had that mobility.
There hasn't been too many over the past couple of years.
Lang and Hamill. Hamill was all but taking a great mark. Burke quick with the hands. Callaghan pumped it. Didn't have time to look, and it shows. Byron Pickett takes it. Looks for Rawlings. Got Rocker in support. Applied pretty good pressure off the ball there, Sad. Colbert with Thompson waiting for him. Saints pushing numbers back to try and make it difficult. Lang and McKernan. Burke again. Terrific hands that time under pressure. It'll come back to Burke.
Well, the Saints are doing pretty well at that. Working hard back in the fight of the ball. They know there's some dangerous forwards down there in Archer, McKernan and Lang. So just got to get back down there and help out their defenders.
Tony Delaney had a pretty good year last year for the Saints. And a very interesting first half comes to a close. St Kilda 7-5-47, the Kangaroos 6-7-43.
Yeah, we brace ourselves for a big second half now. I mean, the guys have acclimatised. The rate was lifted in the second quarter. We saw some good football there and a good close game now to look forward to. It just appears that neither side can actually break the back of the other. So be an arm wrestle for a while longer, I'd imagine.
Saints leading here by 4 points.
Tuesday, how to make your garden come alive without spending a cent.
You're going to end up with a bigger and better garden every season.
And a quick and easy lamb roast, ready to serve in just 30 minutes.
So quick to cook.
Better Homes and Gardens, Tuesday 7:30. Then at 8, it's exotic and inexpensive and closer than it seems.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Plus, escape on a breathtaking journey just off Scotland.
An atmosphere like no other place on earth.
That's on the great outdoors.
Come closer. We'd like you to meet someone. Wilkins here is preparing for a major presentation. The whole company is depending on him. Just next door, they're depending on Epson's range of state-of-the-art imaging equipment for perfect colour time after time. So who would you depend on? Epson or Wilkins?
All kinds of people go to dine at Manny's. All kinds of people just like you and me. Millie does and Billy does and even Auntie Lily does. Mum and Dad and friends and family. So why do people go to dine at Manny's? All kinds of people just like you and me. We'll ask them and they'll tell you.
Quality.
Value. Every day's a feast at Manny's Fish Cafe. So come along and join the feast today.
Due to ill health, Fiona says shut the doors for good. It's SA's biggest closing down sale. Everything's got to go. Bangalow Palms, $9.95. They're gone at $3.95 or 10 for $30. Majestic Palms, $3.95 each or 10 for $30. There's ferns, conifers, cycads, indoor palms and agapanthus at ridiculous prices. Be early for the best bargains. Mounted stags and elks, they're gone at $4. And Cocos Palms up to 6 foot tall for $10. Where are the bargains? Palmarama, Henley Beach Road, Henley Beach, but they're all gone February 28th.
Rocker Brothers quality assured stores are full of great price ripper specials that you just can't miss.
Security steel radials for light commercials only $62. Ask workshops about fitting and balancing.
Can't complain about that price.
6x4 heavy duty tarps just $1.50. That's half price.
Beat that.
Save a whopping $10 on Leisureline Tourer seat covers. A hot price $15.95 a pair.
The bargains just keep coming at all of the 4 big Rocker Brothers stores.
Well, we're cheaper than the others. Rockin' Rocker Brothers.
Remember Jared, he lost 245 pounds on his own diet, which included Subway's low-fat sandwiches and lots of walking. Well, it's been a year, so let's see how he's doing.
Looking buff, Jared.
Way to go, Jared! I guess that answers our question. Thanks to 6 Subway sandwiches with 6 grams of fat or less and laying off the burgers and fries, Jared's looking pretty good. He's still a Subway fan and a true inspiration to dieters everywhere. Subway.
So, very intriguing contest at this stage. A bit hard to read at half-time here at Canberra Monaco Oval. St Kilda in front as they were at quarter-time. The Kangaroos poked their nose ahead, but 7-5, 47 to 6-7, 43. The margin at the moment is 4 points at half-time. Now, some injury worries, particularly for St Kilda, but let's go down to Dipper, who I think is in the Kangaroos' rooms.
G'day, Anthony. Oh, sorry, mate. Yeah, the boys are still wrapped up in the coach's room down there. I can see to tell you, Dennis Bacon soon not happy with that first half. He's looking for a bit of energy out there because it's such a big ground. You've got to be able to run and use your voice. And if you get caught out here, he's going to make the other side look very, very good. A lot of the players walked in with their ice chests down there. Players are using that these days because it's very warm conditions. As expected, as I said, the Kangaroo players did arrive this morning, and we expect a better show in the second half. As far as injuries are concerned, young Daniel Harris is okay. He had a bit of a scratch under the eye when Barry went through him, but everything's okay down here, buddy.
Thank you, Dipper. I think we caught him out. I think for the first time, Dipper wasn't quite ready.
It was great, and he held the position up against the wall too very well, like as if I'm meant to be here. But that was great.
Working beautifully, Dipper. Let's have a look at some of the highlights of the first half. One of the interesting things was Nathan Burke pushed forward for the second week in a row, a little bit last week, but kicked 2 goals and done a very good job up forward for them.
Look, he's been great. This is a great setup by the Saints here, right out of the back line, and we saw some aggressive run from Barry. We've seen a bit of aggressive running from Barry today, but a good centre of the ball here. And really, Berkey is proving to be quite a forward for them at the moment, and not only because of his work rate and his hassle, and his harassment of the opposition, but he finds space and he's a pretty clean disposer of the ball.
Aussie Jones talked about it. It'll be interesting to see how Malcolm Blight handles him this year. Early in the match, we saw an incident where the ball came down to he and Byron Pickett, and he wasn't able to take it, and North ran it down and kicked a goal. But he came back, kicked a goal later on off his left foot.
Yeah, he did. It was a very good goal because he never even attempted to go back on his right. He backed himself up on the left. But Aussie, just through by sheer nature, tries to be very creative. And sometimes you're getting harassed in a situation, well, some things don't turn out as well as you'd like. But at least he's trying. He's taking those risks.
Saints in front at quarter time, as we saw, by 10 points. The Kangaroos came out and went bang, 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 didn't they, with 3 very quick ones.
We thought the game was going to be turned on its ear early in the second quarter where the Kangaroos, with some clever football, it started with Motlop. We saw him tied on the boundary here. He regathered, poised himself. Very disciplined football. Had time to look inside, and a very clever kick inside to David King. But, the Kangaroos looking very dangerous early. They found another gear with their football and looked all the more like they might split this game wide open.
They're King 12 possessions, and as you said, he's given them plenty of run. But straight away, another goal, and this is, I was a little bit critical here of Gale. Stevens, I'm a bit harsh on him perhaps, but Stevens did very well to get onto his left.
Well, maybe a little harsh, but not too, because, I mean, you should have heard them towards the boundary. You shouldn't let left footers back inside you. And, look, we can forgive him because it's only early in the season. So, but it was a great goal by Steve-O. And this is a good one too. I mean, brought it down the side. He's just a good crummer, Harvey. I mean, he just knows where to position himself off the hands of the pack. There are a few, if any, better players in the league at those crumbing situations. Maybe a former teammate in Anthony Rocks, almost his equal, but great football.
We know the Saints have had a few injury problems already pre-season. Let's hope the one to Stuart Lowe is not too serious. As you said, we haven't seen him up that high for a while. He looks in really good shape, and that's a great shot of him flying for the mark. But unfortunately, it led to what appears to be, at the very least, a pretty severe hamstring injury.
Well, it does, and having done a few in my day, Hutto, I can tell you that the signs that looked like Stewie was experiencing there were very much like at least a minor tear, if not something more significant. So this time of year, probably 2 or 3 weeks, that's jumped to conclusions, but his attack on the ball has been fantastic. He'll be obviously disappointed that after a strong pre-season, looking as good as he does, and in the touch he is, that he's got to miss a couple now.
Barry Hall, we talked about Aussie Jones. It's interesting to see how he goes, and there's a few of them, isn't there, at St Kilda, but Barry Hall today, he's got to work out a thing or two about himself for running out of defence, because he's been caught a couple of times, and of course he gave away that free kick which led to a goal. Yeah, look, he makes it pretty hard for himself, Barry. I mean, the intention's right, the risk running has been fantastic, but he's just got into trouble. Now see some match stats, and really nothing out of the ordinary that indicates the game is close. It's been a bit of a seesaw battle. Both sides have had their run at it, but efficiency's been high. The centre breaks are pretty square, and very minimal turnovers. It really just reiterates to us that the game's been pretty tight, pretty close, and no side is really dominating at this point. It is a very tight match indeed. We'll take a break, and after the break, Robert Harvey, the injured Saint. Of course, Wayne Carey not playing as well. Robert Harvey will join us here at Manuka Oval. Back in a moment.
That's it. You're gone. All right? I'm going to send the dogs home. That's what I'm going to... I will. I will. Get out. Okay. Dogs homes. Okay. Come on. Give me the stick. Give me the stick. Drop it. Come on. Drop it. Drop it. Let go. Hey!
Learn how to swim. Learn how to swim. Learn how to swim. We say swim. Safety and education. Fitness and recreation. Learn how to swim. We say swim.
For beginners, for potential champions, and for excellence in swimming.
Home improvers. The Stratco Summer Send-Off Sale Catalogue is out now.
Thumb through it.
Stratco Heritage Fencing, $59 a metre. Stratco Garden Sheds from $199, and Stratco Gable Garages price to go.
Vincent Ronaldo and his partners of Adelaide's 8 hair machine salons are at the cutting edge of hair design. Vincent explains hair machine success.
First, you've got to choose the right people. Then you've got to give them the right training, because you can't have one without the other.
If a client feels good when they walk out the door, feels happy, that's the key.
At Hair Machine, we are designed for accomplishment and engineered for success.
Hair Machine, Australian Salon of the Year.
How does Matt surf when there's no surf? It has a powerful V6 with an amazing Sportsmatic transmission, or a 2.4-litre 4. It has constant 4-wheel grip. It's Hyundai's new all-wheel drive. Hit the exhilarator. The new Santa Fe. Hyundai. Take another look.
This news update brought to you by Commonwealth Bank's 1-year guaranteed rate home loan.
Good afternoon. Coming up at 6 on 7 News, growing anger over the loss of the Le Mans race in Adelaide after just one season. More than 20 partygoers on board a luxury yacht rescued after the craft runs aground. In sport, how bad is Port's gun forward Warren Tredray's knee injury? And yet again, Steve Waugh stands tall for Australia. And And how could a mother reject this cute baby cheetah? Details on how it will be saved at 6 on 7 News.
Half-time here at Manuka Oval, and the Saints just hanging on at the moment. They kicked 4 goals to 5 in the second quarter to lead by 10 at the first break and just 4 at half-time. Nathan Burke, the multiple goal kicker there, with 2 goals. Well, last time Viva wasn't quite ready for us. This time I'm pretty sure he's ready for us.
I've always been ready for you, Hunter. With me, the new captain of St Kilda, Robert Harvey. Firstly, Robert, when can we see you back playing?
Yeah, I'll be back next week, hopefully, Dipper. I've just got a slight hammy, but I probably could have played today if I was pushing it, but I was probably just not worth the risk.
And unfortunately for Stewie Lowe, went down with a hamstring injury because we thought maybe we could cramp because it's very warm out here.
Yeah, look, not sure about it, but he's never done one before. I was just having a quick chat to him then. He's never done one before, so we don't know the extent of that, whether it's his cramp or a hamstring injury.
It was like Salmon, mate. He really hasn't run that quick, has he? Boys, up to you.
Rob, mate, you look tremendous. Obviously taking your time to get back in the swing of things, which is good. But the new guys, there's a lot being talked about and read about, spoken about, the new recruits. They all settle in well, mate. And what are your observations early in the piece?
Yeah, they've all settled in really well. Fraser Gehrig's probably the main concern with he hasn't played a game yet and he's still got a bit of a sore knee, so we're not sure how he's going to come along. But of the others, Stevie Lawrence is coming along quite well. He'll be back in a couple of weeks, but and as you can see, quite a few of them are playing today and doing really well. I mean, Hamill's been terrific. New kid Justin Kazitsky, who is playing his first game today, showed glimpses of that he's going to be a great player, so, and Powell as well, and Craig Callahan. So they're all coming up really well.
You mentioned Kazitsky. He does look terrific from what we've seen so far. What about Rewald? What's his progress and when can we see him out there, do you think?
Yeah, he did most of pre-season, then he went down with a slight knee injury, so he'll probably miss the first 4 or 5 games of the season, then we'll see him sort of mid-season coming into his own.
We're all anticipating having a look at some of these new faces in last week's game, and also Blighty's first game. His reaction to the start of the season, I'd imagine pretty cool and calm halves, but how did the last week transpire after, and maybe he's expecting bigger things from you as well?
Yeah, look, Malcolm was pretty good about last week. Obviously it was disappointing that we didn't get a win, but he's not sort of focusing so much on the scoreboard as on how we go about it, and we're just trying to sort of settle into his game plan, how we go about things at the moment. So we'll get better as the Ansett Cup goes on. I think we've sort of been slightly better this week with the way we've brought the ball into the forward line, and our run from the back line. So I think rather than focus on wins and losses at the moment, he's sort of trying to get our structure and our game plan right first.
You've had a few coaches over the years at St Kilda. How have you found Malcolm in comparison to the others? I guess what strikes you about him most?
Yeah, look, he's certainly different, and obviously very experienced and successful coach, and you can see he certainly commands a lot of respect from the players every time he talks. And so far, look, we've only been using the footies for about a month, or 6 weeks, so as I said, we're getting into it, and we're starting to adjust to his style of coaching and his game plan as well.
And what about your new role as captain? I mean, enjoying that?
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously a lot more of the public PR side of it, which is good, and hopefully I can help out as much the younger players as well as we go along.
Well, we thank you very much for joining us on the boundary. Love to see you back next week, and good luck, and good luck as captain, son.
Thanks, Dipper.
Good on you.
Dipper down there with Robert Harvey, and we wish him the best in his efforts. I got the feeling he might just sneak into the St Kilda team of the century, Robert Harvey.
I think it'd be half a chance, and deservedly so. I mean, some of the players from the last 2 decades that have a fair presence, you'd imagine Berkey and Lowy, but a great champion, a great player, and certainly deserves the great honour of being captain of St Kilda Footy Club.
And don't forget, you can get your St Kilda memberships by ringing that number 95559 6699. Well, the situation here at Manuka is that St Kilda are narrowly in front, so that should help the Saints in their membership drive. We'll see whether that can continue after the break.
Just $4.50 gets you a chicken treat combo every day of the week. Thursday, chicken and chips combo. Friday, fillet deluxe burger combo. Saturday, a $4.50 chicken chips and salad combo. That's got to be the best value chicken treat around.
Like to phone friends in your local exchange area? Why not treat yourself to a Telstra option that reduces your neighbourhood call to just 15 cents? Sweet.
There's always more at Rockers. All Rockers fitting and service centres have fully qualified electrical installers.
ProSound CD tuner packed with features a low $159.
As for your car's security, Rockers can fit an Australian standards approved immobiliser.
Touch key immobiliser fitted for only $125, or a remote control unit just $139 fitted.
For all your car audio and immobiliser needs, Rockers.
Well, cheaper than the others, rocking around the brothers.
Mum used to say, how come you always spill stuff on your white shirt, never on your black? Doesn't matter anymore since I got Preem with Ultra Lift. It's 95% active ingredient, so it lifts my tough, greasy stains like no other spray. It's the Ultra Lift, not the normal lift, that makes it the great unstainer.
Can you go past a Daewoo Nubira? Nubira is the most powerful car under 20 grand and it's packed with features. It's got a 2-litre double overhead cam engine, air conditioning, power steering, electric windows, and CD player, driver's airbag, 4-wheel disc brakes, and Daewoo Free Care, which includes 3-year scheduled servicing. You can't go past the incredible price from $18,990. Compare the value with other cars and you won't go past your Daewoo dealer for the feature pack Daewoo Nubira from $18,990. Will you?
For nearly 20 years, Mercantile Mutual's parent company has been Europe-based ING. ING has around 30 million customers and over $800 billion in assets globally. This success comes from applying truly progressive thinking to deliver services and products designed not just for today, but tomorrow as well. Mercantile Mutual, an ING company.
For 23 years, the Cork and Cleaver restaurants have tempted guests with the finest of steaks and mouth-watering seafood. Now they proudly present the Cork and Cleaver Spice, a succulent 300-gram Scotch fillet cooked to perfection, smothered in mild hot pepper and hickory, and served with a baked potato. And until the end of March, you'll receive with our compliments a jar of this unique spice valued at $8 with every order of this special dish. First-class personal service in a classic setting, the Cork and Cleaver restaurants.
Hi, home improvers. The Stratco Summer Send-Off Sale Catalogue is out now.
Thumb through it.
Universal veranda kits from $760. Good Neighbour fence panels, $66.80 each. And Stratco rainwater tanks to clear.
Very respectable crowd here at Manuka Oval. Ansett Cup footy, Group 2, Week 2. And the Saints and the Kangaroos. And this match very evenly poised at half-time. 4-point leaders, the Saints, as we go back down to Dipper.
Yeah, good on you, Anthony. Good to see that Robert Harvey will be playing next week. And, of course, we spoke to Wayne Carey this morning. As you mentioned before, he'll be back next week, so that's great for our game. Now, look, just interesting, in the first half, the Kangaroos used the bench 9 times and St Kilda 7. Obviously, one of those was injury to Stewie Lowe. So, just to see how the bench is being used here. But I can certainly tell the players are using those ice vests. Paul, I never had an opportunity of using those. Did you ever get a chance to be able to use them on hot days?
No, I didn't, Dipper, unfortunately. I probably could have used them on the odd occasion, but you had a heart of ice, mate. You'd need an ice vest.
Yeah, you blokes just stood in the shade at Hawthorn, didn't you?
Oh, not in my time. But they're a wonderful acquisition to the game of Australian rules, the old ice.
Because it certainly cools the players down very, very quickly. I suppose back in the old days, we used to drink water and that was it.
I hope Jason Dunstall's watching the cover. I hope he's got home after calling the match early this afternoon, because he loves references to that day in Brisbane.
I'd be impressed with you.
When he led the team into the shade at three-quarter time.
I think he knows where you live too, Hutto, so just be careful.
Ready to start the third quarter. (7-5 to 6-7). Everett giving them first use, perhaps. Free kick to Powell for holding on. Advantage paid and taken by Moyle. Kicked it well out in front of Trianides. Just couldn't get an effective handball off on that occasion.
Yeah, when you kick the ball into the forward flank region like that, close to the boundary line, you'd really like to hit its mark, otherwise it just dribbles over. So your forward thrust has been countered by a disposal area.
Obviously, Blighty, as you mentioned, happy with that Trianides-Martin matchup, though. He's kept with it. Nathan Burke has become a goal kicker in recent weeks. He's still got 2 for the day, though, after that kick.
Geez, when you know a bloke's on song when he's happy to have a ping from 50 out on the boundary and try his hand. So But good effort there by Berkey.
Who's on the bench, Dipper, for the Kangaroos?
We've got Joey McLaren, Corey Jones, Brett Harvey, Shannon Watt, Shannon Motlop and Stuart Corcoran.
Good leap there from Rocker to bring it back down to ground, or thrown away by Stevens. So the penalty free kick going St Kilda's way, and guess who? Surely he's not going to have a crack from 55 metres, is he?
Oh, surely not. But he's been full of surprises lately. He's kicking from everywhere else.
Spots out the Spider. They could kick it from this far out, and he's at a much better angle.
I think the way Spider's been travelling in terms of the lack of opportunities he's had to kick goals, and
kicked a beautiful one last week, didn't he? About 55 metres out.
He'll have a crack at this.
Now we'll get a good look at this one, and it might just come back the right amount. It does. Good confidence boost.
It's a mistake anyone could make.
Got in a drunken brawl defending his wife, and he killed a guy.
Now, his time is served. He's taking the first plane home.
Today's flight is a special one.
Alongside the world's deadliest criminals.
What happened?
They got the plane.
Welcome to Con Air.
Buckle up for TV's biggest blockbuster.
Shoot it down. There are innocent people up there.
Nicolas Cage, John Cusack, and John Malkovich. Con Air, Sunday on 7.
Get him going.
Well, it doesn't take much sometimes for a player to just to see a little sign of themselves. Sometimes it's a tackle, sometimes it's a handling exercise, but it's a good sign for Spider anyway.
Oh, Archer.
Oh, jeez.
You just... Well, it's not exactly where you'd want to be standing when Archer comes charging through. Voss over the top of it. Bit of handling going on there. I think it's going to be a free to the Kangaroos. It's young Harris that's going to take it. Pickett taking the mark. Oh, big chance for Shannon Grant. And he's got the free.
Well, there you go. He stayed down in that contest, became the crummer. And it's been rewarded for his efforts there. Just see how lucky, if indeed he was lucky, Hutto at getting that kick. Tony Delaney looks a bit sore.
Loss coming off, replaced by Walton. And Grant drives it through.
Where is technology taking us? How will we see things in the future? LG Electronics, digital technology that's changing the way we view the world right now. Crystal clear picture, totally flat screen, power surround sound, Flatron, never seen before.
LG, life's good. LG, life's good.
8-6, plays 7-7. Early days in this third quarter. Oh, poor old Spider went to ground. Sav came charging through, laid it off very nicely. Sinclair, let's have a look at his disposal. That time, Paul got in the road. Young took it to ground and was given the benefit of the doubt there. Who's on the Saints bench, Dip?
Well, we've got Justin Pickett, Ozzie Jones, who just can't seem to get into the game at the moment. We've got Capuano, Brett Voss has just come off, as you mentioned, beat them, and Stewie Law, of course, who's injured.
Well, I think that was Everett. Got the tap there and went into dangerous territory. And the kick off the ground from Glenn Archer misses.
Well, the Kangaroos are very good at keeping the ball alive and providing opportunities from nothing. And those centre square contests are often ugly, but when they are cleared, more often than not, they'll go just inside the top 50, which puts a lot of pressure on the defensive team.
Sinclair just slipping in there to take that mark. Looks up at a couple of players at centre half forward. One of them Archer. Walton McKernan was lurking as well. Walton got the clearing kick away. Lang couldn't get a handle on it. Sinclair will go again. Powell Did well and emerges with it. He's got a man on the wing, but he ignores him. He's looking for grander things, looking longer down the ground. Now he's bounced it 4 times. Got to use it. He doesn't do a bad job. Gave his teammate the run at it. But McCartney able to help and clean up. Colbert getting back. And Rawlings only had the boundary line in his sights, and it wasn't a great kick in the end. And Delaney should be able to give Kaczynski a chance here. He kicked it quickly. That's a good lead. And Lenny Hayes, playing as a forward, takes the mark.
Well, young Rawlings paying a heavy price for his error there. He had time to dispose of the ball, as you pointed out, Hutto, and should have hit the boundary a bit harder, but then the decision comes into it. It's a great grab here. Good strong overhead mark, but his decision to follow up the ball and not get to the next contest was unfortunate, because it left a big hole when he vacated that area.
Now the Saints lead by 10 again.
Let's have a quick look at Maclay's sale. Jeffrey, what about this wool blend Berber at $49 a metre? Jeffrey, what about Scotch Guard Plush, $45 a metre? Where is it? Keep up, Jeffrey. Look at these prices. 3-metre vinyl, $39 a metre.
Why don't you stop throwing your weight around and get back to the Glen Osmond Road showroom?
I love it when you're mad.
There's a controversial movie out at the moment, not starring Mickey Martin, but
oh dear.
Maybe if they do the stage play, then that look with the blood coming down from Mick Martin, he might be a chance. 10 points the difference. Brett Allen paying the free kick. Anthony Stevens, who's looking for a much better year than he had last year. Traumatic year for him last year, of course. McKernan takes the grab. I don't think he ever, I mean, you couldn't expect him to recover in that same season, really, from what happened to him at about this stage last year. It was the Grand Prix weekend.
Amazing accident. He's a very, very lucky man, Steve, Anthony, so he'd be very happy to be out there today playing football, and we're very happy to see him out there. As Corey lines up for a big one, he's got under it.
And he's put it through, so another one.
Well, there you go. There is absolutely no trends in this game that's of any sort that are helping us pick up one way or the other, but Mickey's going to... Do you reckon you'll bother with stitches on Mickey's scone?
Aesthetically? Don't be nasty.
Oh, I've got the same problem. But
you can't get the stitches in.
It's a very important rule, that one.
Spider Everett. Four points to lead to the Saints. Maybe the Kangaroos can kick a couple in a row here. Rawlings, high kick. They gather all around it. Shannon Grant is lurking. Couldn't quite get onto it. Hall did get onto it. I think he might have learned his lesson from earlier then. Wasn't going to try and take them all on.
Yeah, he did, Barry. He's got to get probably more used to or more comfortable with picking out the first option. And on this occasion, a great wrap up there by Shannon Grant. And players now are getting so adept at pinning the arms and not allowing disposal.
Stevens' kick didn't go very far. King, Everett did well that time, the big man. Blazing away onto the wing. The two number twos go at it. Colbert the winner. Have a Hamill. I think relatively quiet today, Lee Colbert, but that's his fourth mark. 6 possessions. Lang was set for that one, but Berg now pushing back. In defence, where we've seen him plenty of times in the last few years. Heard him talking the other day saying how he has been, well, stuck in defence for the last few years. Not that he was complaining, but he was looking forward to a chance to play more on the ball and maybe up forward. Sean Charles. Thompson, hard at it. Well tackled. We could see him coming. He couldn't.
It's always been a source of amusement for me, Hutto. Backmen thinking they can play forward and yearning for that opportunity. It's not pretty down there, mate. It's not as easy as Dipper made it look.
Free kick off the ball there to Sean Charles. Beat them just back on the ground. Haven't seen much of it today. There's Mick. I'm sure Trianides would be enjoying the fact that he's off the ground for the moment. But McCartney does the job instead. And gets in front of Trianides. And the Roos can work it to the outer side. Sinclair is the loose man. And he goes longer than that. King with Charles backing back. Now there's space. Charles lost his feet. So that allows King the chance to run into a pretty open forward line. Hall did well. He was the man that was strong and positive at the ball. King will get another crack at it. Off the left again. Well, if anything, he picked out Barry Hall, unless he was going for the boundary line. And if he was, then he did a tremendous job because it went out.
Martin back on the ground, boys, all patched up there, and back on Trianides there.
Free kick out of the full, was it? Or was it holding on?
So it was out on the full, Hutto. Just a indiscriminate below the knee contact there.
Gale's kick finds Young. Davis, oh no, it wasn't a good kick. Oh, fuck. I apologise, it was a great kick. Burke gives Davis the chance to release and go long, right up to full forward. Johnny Blakey gets outmarked by Lenny Hayes again.
Well, don't see that too often. Johnny Blakey been outmanoeuvred and outbodied, but there we see Nathan Burke in the thick of things.
Yep.
1 minute he's on the back half, next minute he's pushing up hard to the wing for a great low mark and great hands off the deck.
Well, Malcolm might have just found a new forward here in Lenny Hayes. That's just beautiful judgment.
Yeah,
as you said,
good kid.
Don't see that happen too often to Johnny Blakey. Hayes needs to convert, and he does. He puts it through.
That you do it, tain't what you do, it's the way that you do it. Tain't what you do, it's the way that you do it. That's what gets results. Tain't what you do, it's the way that you do it. Tain't what you do, it's the way that you do it. Tain't what you do, it's the way that you do it. That's what gets results. That's what gets results.
So it's back to a 10-point game. Goes from 10 to 4 to 10 to 4. And so on. Let's see if the Saints can string a couple together, perhaps. Or maybe the Roos. Davis, again, showing some good signs again for today for the Saints. When he's been on the ground, Trianides trying to lead Nick Martin well up the ground. Well, that was all well and good, but he just didn't handle the ball cleanly. Put it down, and he's penalised. Advantage should be paid. Harvey takes that advantage and gets King. Shannon Watt, who kicked the first goal of the game, haven't seen much of him since. In fact, it's first time since that he's touched the ball. Kernan was hanging on there to Hall. Now he replies. They both shove each other under the ball. Neither can take it. Rawlings, Sinclair, Grant, all trying to get onto their preferred foot. Well, Rocker should eat this. And he doesn't.
Well, push forward, Sav, and it's a shame he didn't finish it off there because a bit of hard work went into finding the space, and they'll be disappointed with that.
Knowles. Everett the target. Good spoil from Rocker. Allowing Harvey. King. Good grab. He's played very well today, David King, as you'd expect. 16 possessions and 6 marks. 1 goal, 1. He unloads this one from outside 50. Gets a good piece of it. Davis did really well. Could see that the big blokes were pushing each other and keeping them down, and he thought, I'll get over the top and make sure that goes through for a behind.
Interesting that Trianides is pushing up the ground, but Mickey Money won't mind that. A lot of forwards have tried to do that to him over the last 4 or 5 years. He's matched up to him pretty well.
I know I'm being picky, but with King, here's a chance.
Harvey. Surely this time. No.
Trianides coming off the ground, boys, and Brett Boss back on.
I know I was backtracking a second, but it's been a bit picky with King in landing it in the goal square. It's either got to make the decision, you can kick the goal or put it to the top of the goal square.
Yep.
It wasn't finished off, and there was a... Harvey's normally good in that situation, finishing off in under pressure.
Spider couldn't take it. Sinclair again involved. Stevens' kick. Harris or McKernan. Again, well shark from Shannon Grant, but didn't have time and space to get a good kick away. Davis with Mickey Martin well up the ground. Moving into attack at the moment. Blakey beautifully tackled. And Nathan Burke might get reported here for abusive language, or certainly the free against him. And I reckon I might be on his side. Paul Blakey could well have been penalised. McKernan with a good run out of Charles. In from the side. I'd like to come back to that one if we do get a break in play. We'll see how we go. Everett. Now there's a free kick going to the Kangaroos. Whoa. Surely it would have been further down the field if the free had been there, because the ball was further down the field. Anyway, this is young Corey Jones, the 19-year-old recruited from Sturt. He's a left footer, and they particularly like his marking ability for his height.
This will test him though, a kick from 45 out on the boundary.
Taking the easiest of marks in the end. Burke having a rest. Another free kick picked out. And the Saints trying to move into attack. Aussie Jones had them fooled that time that he was going to use his left. Runs around his namesake Jones, and in the end he has to kick hurriedly into a contest. Martin was leading the way in that contest. Still the Saints a chance. Davis rode the bump and wasn't dispossessed. Boss got through, did well, just guided the ball into the feet. Unfortunately, Power didn't take it cleanly, as we saw, and McCartney can rip the handball away to Shannon Grant.
It's a shame it just broke down there, because the mark wasn't taken and we were trying to dispose of it before we actually had possession of it. So what could have been a shot at goal for the Saints, it looks like it's definitely going to be a shot at goal for the Kangaroos with McKernan.
So Corey McKernan's day for the Kangaroos. He's had 10 hit-outs. It's his major stat, but 2 marks, 5 possessions, and 2 goals so far for Corey McKernan. He at least hasn't caught the disease. He kicks the goal.
7 News wants to visit your school, but first we need to hear from you. So email us here at 7 on this address and tell us some good news about you, your school, or what you're up to in the community. Thanks, Joe. And if the news is really good, then we'll fly out and make a story for that night's news. It's that easy.
Hi, Jane. And it gives us the chance to get out of the studio.
Sure does.
So it's back to a 1-point ball game. Thompson back on the ground. Powell off. Powell was the man that dropped that mark at centre-half forward and had it spent before he got it. I suspect he's got Malcolm Blott in his ear as we speak. King. Grant. Everett now. Out wide. Harvey should be in best position to get to this. Charles, you can see, pursuing. Good support from the side from Byron Pickett. Doesn't mind the odd shepherd, Byron. Sinclair. Quick kick, but it should be all right for David King. Beetham bearing down. King takes the mark. 65 from goal. Goes the pass up. Good kick. Good kick. Good lead from Shannon Grant.
That's lovely.
Here's a chance to put the Roos in front.
He's a good kick too, Shannon. Well, some good signs from the Kangaroos here, but they've had the opportunities early in the game to really plant a seed in the Saints' minds, but the Saints have answered every challenge, and if not, more than taking this game right up to the Kangaroos. In front at the moment, deserve their position, but could be a battle right down to the wire, this one. Just interested in the rucking contest in the last centre bounce. It was line ball, wasn't it? Everett and McKernan. I'll be interested in the next one. Everett and McKernan making contact just prior to the bounce of the ball, and the rule is clearly allowed to make contact until the ball's been bounced, and it's exploiting the new rule in the centre. We'll keep an eye on that as the game wears on.
Yes, the Shannon clause. Oh. Here's the kick from Grant, and he threads it through, so the Roos are in front.
I know where Mr. Montgomery is.
The secret's out.
I'm meeting my lady friend.
What's Kitty to do?
We've been getting along so well.
Don't you think you should go to Edward and let him know how you feel?
You're right.
Whoa, hey!
All new Dharma and Greg.
I'm Kevin, and this is my wife, Jody.
Was that 2 men or 2 women?
Then Jack's joined a club.
This is a cult, like the homeless. They're trying to make gay people straight.
These people are free!
But have they converted Jack? All new Will and Grace, Sunday on 7.
Do here.
Everett off the ground, boys. Capiano in the ruck.
Moyle. Sinclair doing the shepherding. Pickett got to his feet pretty well in the end. Sinclair again. King had no support. It just went over his head, but somehow regains it. Likes those rangy long shots at goal. Just couldn't quite get the leverage that time. That could be 50. It's pretty fierce after he'd already taken the mark there, Capuano.
It was a good play by Capuano because McKernan's pushed very aggressively forward. And Capuano's in the right spot. Very good at that situation.
Rawlings swinging around. Tough bounce that time for Shannon Grant. Delaney, Gale, Delaney, Hayes. Now maybe the Saints can build. Free kick, I think it's going to Kangaroos' way for a bit of indiscriminate work off the top. Over the shoulder.
Some interesting ones here.
Roch. That's what it must have been for Delaney. In the meantime, Savroca has taken the mark, and he has a chance to put the Kangaroos 11 points up.
Well, it's a discipline issue there. Tony Delaney probably regrets what he just did, and there's probably not much in it, but this year, seen already on the odd occasion, the umpires aren't going to let you get away with too much that bends the rules. Well, Big Sav, we know how confident we are in him from 40 to 50 out.
Too close, you're saying?
We'll wait and see.
Well, Anthony's a bit the same, isn't he?
Yeah.
Takes his time like yourself, Paul. Put the ball down, pull his socks up.
Oh, it's
take a break and be back with a kick in just a moment.
Important kick, obviously, for the Roos.
Here's Rocker.
There you go.
He's got it. He's put it through, so the Kangaroos now leading by 11. And suddenly the Saints under the gun a little bit.
I enjoy it, Sav. He's worked pretty hard today. He's been pushing on the ball, up into the ruck, back forward. He's been alternating with Corey McKernan. If nothing else, the game will be good for his fitness level. But he's so dangerous on the lead. He always looks good, always looks like he's leading with intent, and you just got to keep doing that when he's down there.
David King's been the person, hasn't he, Anthony?
He has, yeah.
He's got him back into this game, full of energy, full of run.
And surprisingly full of aggro and vocal words at the St Kilda players after that last goal. Unusual to see David King in that role. He was letting them know all about it. And the fact that now they are 11 points in front.
Very out of character, that.
Rawlings. Unloading. Good stretching lead from Rocker. He rode the wave again, but couldn't take it. Hall cleaning up with Voss, who's pretty good at letting the traffic go by and not being rushed. Oh, poor kick from Beetham. Harris takes it, speared the pass in well, and Shannon Grant takes the mark, and suddenly things just falling apart a little bit for the Saints.
Well, that's how to split a pack, Sav Rocker. He's certainly with leading that sort of power, and he's such a big man that a couple of Saints players got a bit sore and sorry for themselves. This will test Shannon. He's going to be kicking from about 55 yards out, metres out. Taking a Dennis Lee-esque run-up. Not a bad effort. And falls short.
So, doesn't quite make it. So, the Kangaroos in front, 11-11, 77, leading St Kilda, 10-6, 66 at three-quarter time.
It's a real estate boom.
It's up to you to choose a suburb.
And it's lifting the value of your house. Yet the real boom is happening where you'd least expect it.
Suburbs further north and south.
Sold to you, sir. Find out as we go to a live auction on 7 News.
All kinds of people go to dine at Manny's. All kinds of people just like you and me. Every day's a feast at Manny's Fish Cafe. So come along and join the feast today.
Thinking about refinancing your home loan to pay it off sooner? Then call Great Southern Loan, because the best local home loan just got better. By depositing your pay into your loan, you can pay your home off sooner. You can still access your money anytime, over the phone or the internet. And you get our fully optioned low standard variable interest rate with no ongoing fees. You won't find this flexibility at a bank, so talk to a local business about the best home loan in town. Call Great Southern Loan now for a free brochure.
Gotta get away and go to the caravan camping and off-road show.
Innovations, demonstrations, seminars, destinations. Browse around in air-conditioned comfort. Try the four-wheel drive test track. See the pick of the crop recreational vehicles. Live bands, family fun.
The biggest show yet.
Wednesday, February 28th to Sunday, March the 4th. Royal Adelaide Showgrounds, Wayville.
Gotta go to the caravan camping and off-road show.
Hi, home improvers. The Stratco Summer Send-Off Sale Catalogue is out now.
Thumb through it.
Stratco Heritage Fencing, $59 a metre. Stratco Garden Sheds from $199 and Stratco Gable Garages price to go.
On Today Tonight, Bother Boy Botham.
It's really tragic.
Stalking his former Aussie girlfriend.
He would also call my mother.
He made her spend $50,000 on him. She's dumped him, but he keeps hassling her. 6:30 Monday.
Welcome back to Manuka Oval, and it's the Kangaroos just nudging ahead in that third quarter, 11-11-77, leading St Kilda 10-6, 66, 3 to McKernan, 2 to Grant, and a couple each for Burke and Hayes. Well, a little bit of drama in AFL circles today when the match in Cairns, the match tonight between Brisbane and the Western Bulldogs, at one stage looked like it might be being called off because of cyclone, a possible cyclone. Andrew Demetrio, the AFL's chief weatherman and also their football operations guru, is here in Canberra. And what is the latest, Andrew?
Well, so far the news seems to be better, Anthony. Earlier in the day it appeared that there was a cyclone that was approaching right smack bang in the middle where our game was going to be. But we've got Wayne Jackson up there and Jill Lindsay, and we've been getting sort of half-hourly reports, and it seems to be like the cyclone's blown over, but it's raining there, and from our latest report that game will go ahead.
So the match will go ahead, which is good news, because I know that you're having to go through all sorts of contentions as to what you might be able to do.
Yes, and I think after speaking to Wayne and Jill, it appears that there's still a meeting to be held at 4 o'clock Cairns time, which is 5 p.m. our time. But just having spoken to Jill Lindsay almost an hour ago, she seems to think that the game will go ahead. It's raining, but there's a superb surface up there that's got excellent drainage, and you know, for all intents and purposes, that game should go ahead.
What would happen if the match had have been called off tonight? What was the main contingency?
Well, our contingency would be that we'd try and play the game tomorrow, and we had a contingency plan for them, which would have meant that if we played it tomorrow, we would have moved the game from next week, which was due to be played on a Friday night, to a Sunday. And you know, if that couldn't have gone ahead tomorrow, we would have looked at abandoning what they call the abandonment rule, and if that had happened, we would have had to determine a result.
And everything going pretty well here in Canberra. Pretty healthy crowd, and I know they'll have a bigger crowd next week for Sydney and Essendon.
Yeah, this is tremendous here. It's a wonderful facility. It's a good crowd. It's a great ground, and okay, it's a little bit hot today, but you know, we're really looking forward to this game finishing, which is going well, and obviously next week we've got a big game with Sydney and Essendon, and of course there's 2 home and away games here, and all the Canberra people have got right behind the game.
It's been a big couple of weeks with the Ansett Cup, and I guess people hadn't had footy for such a long time, and the crowd seemed to be going pretty well in general.
Yeah, if you look at last week, our first round, we had 43,000 people more than this time last year, and even so far we had 15,000 odd in Adelaide last night, and I think 22 at Colonial Stadium. So yeah, no, I think all people are waiting for the football season to start.
So fingers crossed. Hopefully the match to go ahead tonight. Thanks for joining us, Andrew.
Not a problem.
Good mate of yours, Robert Medico, is down on the boundary there. You've got bigger smile than him. Dipper, down to you.
Thanks very much. Hello. Look at that. I forgot my socks. Sean Charles looks like he's off the ground. Looks like he's put a hamstring as well. As we said before, Lowe's plays in these conditions are finding very difficult just to keep up with the pace of it. Not good news for Sean, because he's just trying to get into this St Kilda side. He's been hassled with injuries the last 2 years at the Saints. So bad news there for Sean.
Thanks, Dipper. So Sean Charles taking his place there on the bench. Well, question is, can the Saints come back? Paul Salmon.
Well, of course they can. I know we've seen it on many occasions already today that they've answered every challenge, but an important turnaround that late in that last quarter where the Kangaroos were 11 points down, now find themselves 11 points up. So let's see what the Saints can do in bridging this small gap.
So 77 to 66. And I wonder what effect the heat will have in this last quarter. We've seen, as Dipper has been saying, a lot of rotation off the bench. So I guess most of the players should still have a bit left in them.
Well, they should have a bit, but they're going to find it tough. No doubt that it'll test them all. But, you know, they're pretty well trained. They've been training in the heat all summer. So it's just that when you get out, the intensity kicks up another level.
Abraham unloads. Long one. Right to the line. Grant, who's been a forward today, doing pretty well, not quite able to take it. Delaney clearing it. Capuano takes the mark. And now the Saints into attack. Oh, Hamill propped pretty well. Kazitsky, low kick. Aussie Jones. Archer just edging him away. And Trianidis, who's back on the ground, as we can see, not able to take it cleanly. Dipper.
Yeah, Jeremy McLaren, Sinclair, Blakey, Daniel Pratt, Adam Lang and Shannon Motlop start on the bench in this last quarter for the Kangaroos.
77 to 66. Archer. Saints would dearly love a goal here to really even it back up again. Cochran underneath it. McCartney did all but take the mark that time, didn't he? Davis, Burke. Went back a long way and in the end really kicked it to a one-on-one contest. Certainly did open it up though. Handball out wide to Brett Voss. He just held onto it a fraction long that time and is penalised. Callaghan had given him the handball. And normally we've seen Brett Voss very good at avoiding the oncoming traffic. Here's King pushing down the ground again. Been a terrific player for them this afternoon. 21 possessions, 8 marks. And 1 goal, 1 for David King. Rocker's on a long lead. Wasn't the best of deliveries. Rocker just got the handball away. Shannon Grant off the right boot. You don't see that too often. His vision wasn't all that good. Capuano filling back into the hole, and he can run with it. And then he looks up and says, where will I go? Has to go along. Koitsky was the target. Harvey gets Stevens. And this time McKernan it is on the end of the lead.
Well,
and he is within range, and he's already kicked 3 goals this afternoon.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation, Hutto, where the 2 ruckmen giving one another some space there. Capuano pushed back from Mark in the back line, and Corey was pushing forward and found himself in the best position to take full advantage of a very smart pass there. And we saw him kick one earlier from about this distance out down the other end, so he'd be pretty confident with himself here.
Corey McKernan for goal number 4. I think he's put it through.
Greatest survivors. They have thrived for more than 450 million years. Witness an absolutely superb premiere special exploring the awesome world of sharks. Jurassic Shark premieres tonight, 6:30.
They've all chosen their perfect dates.
It's not a game anymore.
This is the episode where things really start to happen.
I don't think you want to watch the rest of that. I have to play the rest of the clip.
Temptation Island, Tuesday, 9:30.
So the Saints bench looking on. 4 goals for Corey McKernan.
Yeah, we've got Pickett, Everett, Charles and Hall, of course. I'm sorry, Lowy.
There's some experience on that bench. So Malcolm Blight going with youth for the last quarter. And they need to get a bit of a run on now. Thompson got a free, and then he decided to play on, and then he dropped the ball. The umpire lets it all go now. King.
He's a match winner today, I think, here.
Going for one of his traditional runs. Goes for Sav. In from the side, Stevens, an unlikely leaper. Quick kick into the square from McLaren. Harvey can't keep it in.
You just worry about another goal from St Kilda's perspective, another goal to the Kangaroos here.
Be all over, I think, if they kicked another one.
Well, you're a bold man, Anthony Hudson. But, it's quite possible. It could just break the back of the Saints.
Well, I couldn't see them going back from 23 points down, but still time, obviously. But, well, they're going to have to try now because Stevens has kicked that goal.
Well, that's going to make it hard for the Saints on a hot day. They've committed everything. And it's highly unlikely they'd be waving the flag, of course, but the Kangaroos in the 4-goal lead now are in the driver's seat. And I did this in the second quarter to this end. A few quick early goals in the quarter. Looked like they were going to break it open.
Yeah,
and
they
the Saints
answered them that time.
So,
I'm sure they'll fight it out. I certainly hope they will. Show a bit of character here. And it would be disappointing if they didn't. I think it would be most disturbing for Malcolm. McKernan doing the ruck work against Capuano. Hayes just couldn't find his man. Peckett couldn't get clear.
Well, you can't question either side's attack on the ball today. Their endeavours have been right, and as evidenced by the scoreboard, it's been an arm wrestle all day, and it just appears that the signs are there that the Kangaroos, just maybe by sheer weight of numbers, might take the game out.
Peckett could have taken the advantage there, but no, free kick going to the Kangaroos. Lee Colbert. Long lead, Rocker. Hall right there with him, but Rocker takes a good strong mark. Good signs for Severio, but a free kick going Kilda's way.
Well, that's where that holding rule can be a bit of a pain in the neck, to be quite honest. You get a great grab like that, and deserves a shot from 50 out south, but his teammate has unfortunately given the free kick away.
Matthew Young bounding out of defence, looks for Hamill, who really hasn't been able to hold on to too many today. Just the one mark from Aaron Hamill. Peckett unloads. Kazitsky gets to the front, gets a free kick.
You mentioned Aaron Hamill, and although he's only taken one mark, the thing I've been quite impressed with is when he's been in the pack situation, he's actually managed to direct the ball.
Yep.
On his spoil. He's pushed it to the favoured side of his teammates, and that's been a really impressive part of his game. He's well known and highly regarded for his team play, and that's just one element. One we saw an earlier example earlier in this quarter, and it's just under that much pressure at that speed to still be able to direct the ball in the contest, make the decision you can't take the mark, put it to your teammate. It's a credit to him.
There's a well-directed pass too from Kazetsky. Lenny Hayes. Disappointing result for the Saints. Very disappointing indeed.
Despite Everett coming on, sorry Anthony,
right.
coming on to finish off the game for the Saints, Capuano has done a fantastic job today, I think, for the Saints. Just coming off the ground, fairly, he's puffing, he's just gasping for air as we see him down the bench going for the wet towel.
It's understandable, mate. He's had a big day, Matthew, so he deserves the break.
Hamill has to get involved straight away there. Abraham handled in front of himself, wanted the free. Good work from Gale. Oh, Hamill, surprising fumble there on that occasion. Well done by Knowles. Didn't quite get the kick away in the end, though, that he would have liked.
It's like a ball on a pinball machine there for a second, but finally bottled up, and credit to the guys that they're still going with that sort of zest and zing at this stage in the game.
Umpire Darren Morris, the man with a cap, bouncing the ball, or throwing the ball up, I should say, as they do around the ground in Ansett Cup. Moyle. Chinedes versus Martin. Now, he's not going to win too many one-out duels when Mickey Martin gets the chance to use the body. He wasn't quite on a fast enough lead then to be able to exploit him for pace. This is Brady Rawlings now. Kangaroos leading 13-11 to 10-7. Everett back on the ground, as we said, trying to get in the road of McKernan, but he can't. So Corey McKernan, who's had 14 hit-outs today, just the 3 marks, but he's kicked 4 marks, in fact, but he's kicked 4 goals. Going back for number 5, and he has launched it. Rocker! Not paid. Oh, well.
Unlucky.
Gee, they're making him earn it, aren't they? The last one they paid a free against them. And that one, to me, I'll be happy to correct myself if the replay shows that he didn't control it, but it did appear that way first up.
I'm with you, Hutto. I thought he had enough of it there.
Peckett. McLaren trying to get at him. Just couldn't quite. Again, a tough one. Oh, he came from behind. Callahan, he pushed out anyway, and that's what the free was for. I think it's going to have to come back. Lang was the man that took the mark, but the free was for the push. have a look at Rocker. Was this a mark? What's your decision?
Well,
did you still think it was a mark? Or
no, actually, I thought he didn't really bring it all the way to the ground.
Oh.
He lost it on the way down.
All right.
No, it's been hard, isn't it?
Yeah, no, well, we said we could correct ourselves. The replay showed we were wrong.
Yeah, the thing where he heard probably said was not to make a lead earlier, to take Hall out of the goal square a bit early, to leave it open for McKernan's shot. So he found himself doubling back in a situation where he probably didn't need to be going for the mark. But
here's Hayes as the Saints move into attack. Hamill had 4 to beat then. Pretty tough for him. Gets support from Callaghan. Terrific support in the end, but he was exhausted, I guess, by the time he got to there and had to kick quickly. And Lee Colbert can run out of defence. He'll look ahead where David King has the hand in the air, but he's going to ignore that. Got good shepherding from Harvey and from Martin, and in the end he goes to Motlop. And that's a good bit of body work from Motlop.
Harvey just run past him if he gets it here.
He's been clever today, Motlop. He
takes on Knowles and then spears it to Rocker.
I'm glad I said he'd been clever today, just before he did that great pass to Rocker. He's been pretty good with his hands and his feet today, and he's shown us just what a talented player he is. Here we go, a little dummy back to his right. And fine Sav. Now Sav's a real good chance from here. Been kicking pretty well. I've backed him today, I think I'll back him again.
Another one of your houses up for grabs here, Fish. And you're down at the holiday shack now, aren't you?
Well, it looks like I'm in Mum and Dad's garage tonight.
The 2 mansions have gone and down to the holiday shack.
Oh, dear.
Sav misses away convincingly to the right.
I think I can ask Dipper to spot me for the next kick, maybe. He's got a few properties.
I've got a cubby house you can have.
(13-12 to 10-7). Well, the game in danger of petering away if the Saints can't get a quick goal now.
Once again, King just did some hard work, just kept the ball in play, or kept the ball in the 4 line there. He's such a great asset, especially with Archer too up in the 4 line, because they just tackle and run. And
there's no doubt about that, Dipper. He's such a it leads by example, and even in that zone situation where they're zoning up and the coaches want plenty of movement from their players. The last quarter of an Ansett Cup fixture on a hot day in Canberra, and he's still doing a job like that. He's an absolute pro.
Brett Voss. Pickett with some space around him and players running past. Young has got a lot of space in front of him, can keep going. In the end, he goes to a pretty much vacant goal square. Callaghan couldn't get onto the end of it. And with that little slip, perhaps the Saints' chances also going begging this afternoon. 13-12 plays 10-8. There's about 7 minutes of actual play remaining.
Well, that sounds funny, but it sounds harder. It's actually harder than it looks when you're forward with a guy with plenty of time coming through midfield to actually catch their eyes before you lead. And if you make that wrong move, you're out of the question mark, out of the picture then, and they go to another option. So it's important the eyes are up for the player carrying the ball. To give the forwards every opportunity of putting themselves in a good position.
Stuart Lowe, he'll be contemplating what's ahead for him after, we think, tearing his hamstring pretty badly. We'll find out more about that after the game.
I'll tell you what, mine Aaron Hamill was a ruckman if he was about 10 inches taller.
Yeah.
He's been very good with his hands.
Nathan Burke has bombed one in, but not quite able to put that through. And speaking of after the game, if you're a Kangaroos supporter, you should definitely hang around, because we're going to take a bit of a trip down the old memory lane to have a look back at the 1980 and Escort Cup, as it was then, grand final.
And, should the Collingwood supporters hang around?
I don't think the Collingwood supporters should stay and watch. Perhaps they should just go outside and do some
supporters
gardening.
of all clubs should hang around to watch
Apart
that one.
from the Collingwood supporters.
Come on, don't sport. They don't know the result yet.
Yeah, look away if you don't want to know the result. 13-12-90 to 10-9-69. Sinclair over the top, trying to apply the tackle on Powell. Thompson, McCartney, Colbert. Didn't have much to go to then. Remarkably found Sinclair. Brett Voss had a pretty good game again this afternoon.
Yes, he's going to be a very handy pickup for the Saints, and he's shown even in his first 2 games that he's going to have a lot to offer them.
Kazitsky also shown a bit. Knowles runs his measure and then some, and then kicks a goal. So maybe the Saints have still got a sniff. $13.12.90 to $11.975. McKernan, Hayes, McCartney clearing the path. Saints another quick goal here, and they'll be right back in business. Callaghan lurking, looking to get onto it. 15 points the difference. Johnny Blakey.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tado, another goal here would do the game justice, you know.
It would.
It wouldn't just give the Saints a sniff, it would just do the game justice. It deserves a tight finish. It's been nip and tuck all day.
Good old nip and tuck. Yes. Kazitsky getting it down. You've waited 15, 20 years to use that. You've heard other commentators over the years use nip and tuck, and you waited until now.
At least I played with tuck.
Oh, dear.
13-12 to 11-9. Kazitsky doing the ruck work that time. Archer, little look away handball. He knew exactly where he was going. Now Everett.
Oh, good control.
Did well. Just in the end, probably ran out of support, but he gets some now from Davis, who kicks it a mile in the air, but would you believe it? His teammate had time to Powell to stay underneath it. He can be a rangy kick. Powell, don't think he, or maybe he did go for goal. I reckon he's cleared the pack, and the Saints are still very much alive.
Up to 70,000 thoughts every day. Eyes, which can differentiate between 10 million different colors. Hearing, that detects frequencies between 20 and 20,000 hertz. And 656 muscles, 17 of which are moving when he smiles. When we develop digital technology, we know who it's for. LG, life's good.
Great goal from Robert Powell at his third club. They've had a pretty good ability in the past to write clubs off, and then they'll come back and make a liar of me. I said St Kilda were probably going to go down. Suddenly, they're a real chance. 9 points down. Gale taking the mark. Still 4.5 to 5 minutes to go, so there is quite a lot of time for St Kilda to build and get a couple of goals.
Well, Hunter, you weren't far off the mark. The conditions are the way they are. If you saw a suicide get a 4-goal break this late in the game. But credit to the Saints, the character of those has been outstanding.
King, he must be one who's feeling the heat. He's been on, I think, pretty much all day.
He's amazing, isn't he, really?
24 possessions. I think he, from memory, didn't come on until half-time last week.
Yep.
And that's when the Roos really ran away with the game against the West Coast Eagles. Thompson, of course, the captain today for the Saints. And Robert Harvey's absence.
Done a fine job, too. And certainly a goal here to the Saints has them.
Very much within range.
Yes, exactly right.
Sorry to distract you there, Paul. Here comes Trianides over the top. Delaney well wrapped up.
Everett certainly puts a bit of bite back in Sikos. He's got on the ruck. He's won the last 2 duels, and of course when he attacked that ball before. So here he goes here.
Lang over the top. 3.5 minutes remaining in this Ansett Cup match. A win here for the Kangaroos, and perhaps they'll be through to the semis, depending on other results. But if they lose, then it's very much open between all the teams. It will open the door for Collingwood. And the Saints get it away. Moyle runs again. His measure. Oh, didn't have anywhere to go. Went for the boundary line and will get that result, which is all very well. But they've only got 3 minutes and they need to kick 2 goals.
Yeah, look, you've got to question the decision there. You'd be going along to a contest at half forward there with that kick, not wide to the boundary, but... Well,
Captain Thompson going off. Beetham gets around onto his right. Martin's in front. He's got Pickett there as well. Plenty of roos across half-back, in fact, as it turns out. Makepeace with time to get Rocker. Just misses. Here's Barry Hall's chance then. Oh, Rocker wanted it more in the end. Hall stayed and persisted and harassed, but Stevens took it away. And Daniel Motlop takes the mark, puts the ball up, and then proceeds to get the ball straight back at him. Brett Voss doing the smothering. 2.5 minutes remaining. And again, it's looking a little likely for the Saints. Thompson's had a quiet day, actually, stats-wise, Paul.
Yeah, it hasn't been one of his best days. But unfortunately for Tomo, that'd be a rare one for him, of course.
One kick and...
Is that all?
One handball. It's amazing. It is one of the lowest days, stats-wise, that I've ever seen for Andrew Thompson. Sinclair, Archer.
We've seen more of nip and tuck.
They can be very deceptive, though, the stats, can't they? Lang, low kick onto the wing.
I wasn't referring to his stats game. I was referring to his leadership endeavour.
Yep, Moyle takes it over the line. And it's out of bounds. For those that missed it, Paul said that Andrew Thompson had led very well as a captain earlier. That was all.
Led them onto the ground very well.
Just hadn't had a lot of kicks, that's all. He could be a chance to win the TV, like Robert Klopp did all those years ago.
I'd give it to him. Oh, dear me.
13-12-90 to 12-9-81. 1 minute and 48 seconds remaining.
Could it be that the Canberra altitude is finally getting to me?
Possibly it is. I haven't seen John Howard here at the match, actually, Dippy.
Well, Dipper said he's a chance to get here. He's
trying to make it. Here's Burke.
Starting to question whether Dipper actually knows the guy or not.
Davis. And the ball over the line and out of bounds.
Davis. He's been good today, Davis. He's run himself ragged. He's run hard. He hasn't always been rewarded for his efforts.
You're just looking at his stats. No, he has been good. He's been very good, and he was good last week too. Justin Pickett. 1 minute 14 to go. Saints need a miracle from here. They need a clean mark and goal. And Trianides wasn't likely to get it in that way. So now the Kangaroos with a minute to go. And Archer streaming out of defence will just hold things up. Didn't have much on offer there, but he just waited nicely. And taken over the line by the young man, Corey Jones. Happy enough to do that. 40-odd seconds on the clock. And the Kangaroos look like they'll record their second consecutive victory. So maybe it'll come down to next week's Collingwood West Coast match. Collingwood Kangaroos match to see who advances in Group 2 to the semi-finals. Stevens goes for McKernan, who's kicked forward today. Pickett rushing clear. Late chance for the Saints through Moyle. Went over Kaczynski. Hamill crashed through the pack. Just away from Paolo. Byron Pickett takes it away. Well, they've got 10 seconds to try and get it down to Sam. He might go all the way, Byron. Looks up and says, I'm going to have a crack. Oh, he just ran out of power in the end. His kick will be okay, though. And David King takes the mark. And well done, Byron Pickett. I think the altitude got to him in the end. He just ran out of steam. And he just got the kick away with enough penetration on it to find David King. So the Kangaroos will win here. The Saints certainly not disgraced. The margin 9 points as David King lines up.
Well, it's a great last-minute effort there by Byron Pickett. Stretch the legs. And King is going to make his way here. He's going to savour the moment, I think.
He's also employing the salmon routine.
Well, he'd pull his socks up and take his jumper in, surely. What do you think? You put one of your properties on him?
One of my properties? Yep, I'll put one on. Beautifully done, David. Kicks the goal, so the Kangaroos win by 15 points. And one would suspect by now that Dipper might have found his way out.
Yeah, Anthony, I'm with Lee Colbert and Spider. Very good, thank you, Spider. Lee, warm conditions today, mate?
Yeah, mate, it's a bit warm up here, eh? It'll be good. It's good ground. We handled it all right, I think.
You flew in today. I mean, how difficult was the day?
Yeah, it was a long day. I think we up at 6 o'clock, mate. It's a bit earlier than I'm used to, but yeah, look, we just hang around the hotel and try to stay pretty focused.
You're settling nicely in the side. You had a good year with them last year, and of course, well, one stage you play on the wing today.
Yeah, started up there, but yeah, just trying to find my feet, and fitness is coming, so keep working at it, mate.
And just tell us about this side with young Rocker is in good form, and of course David King.
Mate, he was awesome, King. He just keeps getting the footy in. And Rock's going well, mate. He'll get better, and I just like to see him kick a few more goals.
Yeah. 2 games, 2 wins. Well done, mate.
Good on you, Dip.
Anyway.
Sure, Sav will be very happy with that, Dipper. Young Rocker.
Well, he looks younger, after a great pre-season, Sav, and he's had a couple of handy opening weeks for the Kangaroos, and a good win.
Good win for the Roos, 14-12, 96 to 12-9, 81.
This news update brought to you by Commonwealth Bank's 1-year guaranteed rate home loan.
Good afternoon. A female scuba diver has died off the York Peninsula. The woman was diving with a group near Althorpe Island. We'll have the full details at 6. Also tonight, growing anger over the loss of the Le Mans race in Adelaide after only 1 season. Panic on board the Spirit of Australia ferry after a fire broke out, and a major rescue at sea after a luxury yacht runs aground with more than 20 partygoers on board. Details at 6.
Looking for a huge range of quality carpet at discounted prices or a total interior package? You'll find it all at Macleay's Glen Osmond Road. The latest carpet fashion. Discover vinyl, timber, cork and a wide range of fabrics and curtain styles. Our decorators will help you personalise your colour scheme. A single room or an entire house. Macleay's can develop your ideas and where price counts, work to a budget. For more than just carpet.
Macleay & Sons, 243 Glen Osmond Road.
You remember Jared from Subway? Turns out he's inspired a lot of people.
Still looking good. He'll show you the way. His name is Jared, and he'll lead you to Subway. That's where it goes, along with the rest. For 6 sandwiches with 6 grams of batter left.
What an inspiration. Subway. Eat fresh.
Why are Adelaide's 8 hair machine salons the leaders in hair design? Vincent Ronaldo explains.
Hair Machine is recognised throughout Australia for the training.
At Hair Machine, we are unique and we care.
They're about creating a passionate style for each person, which is the most important thing about hairdressing.
The product is good because we believe in it.
Love to experiment with styles. At Hair Machine, we give good quality service.
Salon of the Year.
Holdfast Bay's unique place in history is being celebrated at the exciting new Bay Discovery Centre, situated where else but at the end of the tram line. It's a $3 million development at the Glenelg Town Hall. Take an exciting, interactive journey into our past with spectacular multimedia exhibits. A team of friendly volunteers will make sure your family will love the experience. And it's free. Visit the brand new restaurant and wine bar downstairs. It's all open now, 7 days a week, 10 till 5.
All kinds of people go to dine at Manny's. All kinds of people just like you and me. Millie does and Billy does and even Auntie Lily does. Mum and Dad and friends and family. So why do people go to dine at Manny's? All kinds of people just like you and me. We'll ask them and they'll tell you.
Quality.
Value. Every day's a feast at Manny's Fish Cafe. So come along and join the feast today.
How does Matt surf when there's no surf? It has a powerful V6 with an amazing Sportsmatic transmission or a 2.4-litre 4. It has constant 4-wheel grip. It's Hyundai's new all-wheel drive. Hit the exhilarator. The new Santa Fe. Hyundai. Take another look.
Go, boys, go!
So 2 out of 2 for the Kangaroos, 14-12, 96 to 12-9, 81. Pretty interesting old match with the Saints in front for the first 2 quarters. It was really late in that third quarter where the Kangaroos got on top, and then early in the last quarter, 14-12 to 12-9, 81, as the players from both sides warming down, and well, the Kangaroos in particular, I suppose, would be enjoying themselves. Severio Rocca, pretty solid performance. Mickey Martin back for his first game. Anthony Stevens finding some form, and Shannon Grant pretty prominent. So I'll certainly be enjoying this fact that Wayne Carey is going to be back very shortly as well, and will rejoin and strengthen this Kangaroos lineup, Paul Salmon.
Yeah, they've got a lot to look forward to, the Kangaroos, with the return of Wayne Carey. But look, there's no questions. A quality hit out for the Kangaroos today. The Saints threw everything at them, and the stretching after a win is always a little bit easier after a victory, and they should be pretty pleased with themselves. I mean,
this man, David King,
he was dominant today, wasn't he? He was just all over the game like a rash, and we'd like to see some of the younger players. They were all pretty serviceable though, but nothing extreme.
Well, plenty of highlights for both sides really for the day, and St Kilda certainly can take some heart, not only the way they started and in this third quarter, but also the way they came fighting back at the end and were a chance.
Well, they took the game more than right up to Kangaroos. Early in the game, you said they were dominant. They answered every challenge as the game wore on. There was nothing to suggest that this game wouldn't go right down to the wire. It was just a couple of bursts by the Kangaroos that separated, that made all the difference. And for most part of the game, the Saints were able to answer those bursts, and we saw some quality goals, kicks, some quality movement of the ball up the ground. And
Lenny Hayes, who we just saw a moment ago, he perhaps could be, well, obviously he's a fine midfielder, but kicked a couple of goals and looked good. And what about Severio? How'd you assess his performance today?
Well, serviceable Severio. He was disrupted a bit by the game he was asked to play into the ruck and down and forward, but I think he worked pretty well in tandem with Corey. And it's a very promising structure they've got in place, the Kangaroos, with regards to their forward line. This guy, Anthony Stevens, was good today, and I like this fella. I mean, everything we saw him do today was, he rarely made a mistake. And when he got his hands on the ball, he was clean, he was sharp, he made good decisions. And so for all you Saints fans who are hoping for the best from their 2 top draftees in Kosiski and Rewalt, well, we've seen from Kosiski at least, he's got a big future.
This was a great way to finish, wasn't it, from Byron Pickett, running the full length, just about ran out of puff, got the kick away, and David King, the man who'd been, the star of the match, taking the mark and kicking the goal to finish off the action. So we have a look at the stats, and well, the Roos with more possessions and fairly tight for the rest of them.
It is fairly tight. We saw at half-time it was even tighter. We saw the Kangaroos in the second half get a little bit more on top with the kicks. The in-dispute balls, they made a bit of space there. And the centre breaks at half-time around 7-8 and turned at the end of the game at 16-10. So the Kangaroos started to gain a little bit of ascendancy in some critical areas, but the Saints were far from disgraced today. The improvement in the Saints from 7 days ago was vast, and I think they can look forward with much greater optimism to the ensuing weeks ahead.
Yeah, some injury concerns for both sides, particularly Stuart Lowett's and Kilda, but Dennis Pagan, all the smiles at the moment. We'll take a break and continue to wrap up here from Monica after this.
Hi, it's John Dean here with the Travel Auction. Why pay top dollar for a multi-award-winning houseboat holiday when you can pick up the phone within the next hour, register your bid and escape at only the price you choose to pay? It's so easy. All you have to do is be amongst the top 50 bidders. And here's the package. It's for up to 8 people. 3 nights weekend accommodation or 4 nights midweek accommodation aboard a multi-tourism award-winning 8-berth houseboat with Houseboat Holidays. Cruising from Renmark Paringa in the heart of the picturesque Riverland, these luxurious houseboats are superbly equipped with 4 bedrooms, a barbecue, sun deck and much, much more. And normal houseboat hiring conditions apply. Normally valued at $980, that's aboard a 4-bedroom, 8-berth luxury houseboat. Right now you can plan that escape so easily and name your own price. How about a bid of $890? We'll try $850. Whatever your bid is entirely up to you. If your bid is successful, you have until December to travel. The winner of 5 tourism awards, Houseboat Holidays provide an unmatched level of comfort, convenience and luxury. Phone now and place your bid for a unique opportunity to cruise the Mighty Murray aboard one of these magnificent vessels at only the price you choose to pay. 3 nights weekend or 4 nights midweek accommodation aboard an 8-berth multi-award-winning houseboat plying through the heart of our picturesque riverland, normally $980. Come on, wouldn't you just love to be cruising aboard a luxury riverland houseboat right now? How much will you bid? Ring now, 8388 5488.
When pay TV took off in New Zealand, thanks to the launch of a communication satellite, MLC was there. You could launch your wealth with this sort of investment opportunity. MLC, working towards your wealth.
Over the last 25 years, our rivals have released thousands of new models. We haven't had to. Volkswagen Golf. Evolution never ends.
Henley Select, where your government grant equals full deposit on your new home and land. Call 13 14 10 or visit a Henley World of Homes. Henley Select, a better way of buying a better first home.
It's simple, really. We only buy carpet or vinyl if we can sell it at half the price you would pay elsewhere. Nalunga Carpets, now at Richmond Road, Keswick as well. I'm a simple man.
When it comes to finding a hoses and fittings company you can count on, it's a jungle out there, unless you call NZ. Nobody tames problems like we do.
On Today Tonight, Bother Boy Botham.
It's really tragic.
Stalking his former Aussie girlfriend.
He would also call my mother.
He made her spend $50,000 on him.
Restaurants, wine and Learjets.
She's dumped him, but 2 years on, Botham keeps hassling her.
Yes.
And Adelaide's in-laws war hots up.
This is a bizarre story.
Still feuding as one side tries to bankrupt his own family. Plus, meet the Crows' new coach.
Is he?
He's won a raffle to coach the team.
I'm calling the shots.
Next week.
Monica Oval this afternoon, the Kangaroos 14-12-96. Defeating St Kilda in the end 12-9-81, so the Kangaroos 2 from 2 will check on all the tables and the ladders from all the groups